Okay, I see a preview now. Y'all want to rip off of an intro song? No more worthwhile debates till September. Gonna trigger MAGA to the brim. No more Miller and Pete. No more gnome on her feet. Lots more Jim. Lots more Jim. Lots more Jim. Lots more Jim. Okay, that's it. I'm the Jim. I don't know. I had to ride with Pete. No more gnome or her feet. She's on her feet a lot in the. That is fun. We'll probably talk about that a little bit. Christy Gnome, Krusty Gnome has been fired, and that's dope. Not fired, reassigned. Fired, guys. Let's be so clear. Fired. Jovan will be back here in just a moment. But in the meantime, hey, we are taking debates. We are taking calls, and we are ready to talk to you because it's funny. I think I could debate from either side of this right now. I think I can debate that Donald Trump is a terrible president. And if you disagree with me, 336-543-2101. I think I can debate that Donald Trump is a terrible Republican, 336-543-2101. That if you voted for him, you aren't getting what you think you voted for, 336-543-2101. That's the phone number. He's not delivered his promises. He's not doing good on anything.
With Donald Trump, would you? I believe this. I think he's the worst. Like he's failed in every aspect that a president can fail at their job.
That's literally like I was trying to think about it the other day, and I was like, what if I was in a debate and somebody was like, just to prove that everybody here can be reasonable, can you list one thing you do agree with Donald Trump on, that you do think Donald Trump has done a good thing on? And I was just like, can I? Can I list
in his
one
first
thing?
term, he passed a bill that helped with like ocean preservation. That's literally the only and then I guess he did pass something for domestic violence too, but I haven't looked at the of like how that's like implemented.
I like when he tried to ban bump stocks. I like when he tried to undermine the Second Amendment because you guys remember when Obama didn't? You guys remember how you're like, oh, we have to or they'll take our guns. Then Joe Biden got in. They didn't take shit. And during Joe Biden's presidency and Obama's presidency, nothing came for the Second Amendment. But Donald Trump did. Obama, literally, at the beginning of the Obama administration, it was more difficult. You could carry a gun in America in less places than the end. So arguably, your Second Amendment rights under the Obama administration actually got expanded. But they're going to take our guns. They're going to take our guns. They're going to take our guns. They're going to take our guns, guys. We're very serious.
At this point, I hope they do, just to shut you guys up.
I know. At a certain point, it's like I no longer take your guns though. I'm keeping mine. No, I do own guns that I believe should be banned. I don't believe all guns should be banned. I do own at least one gun that it's crazy that I own it. It's like, it's wild. It's wild that every now and then I'll just pick it up and I'll be like, it's insane I'm allowed to just have this. This is bananas. Anyway, this is going to be a long 3 hours for a couple of reasons. One, who else got surprised? Who else today woke up and went, oh my God, I slept in by an hour. I overslept by, well, for me, it was actually more than an hour because I was up a little bit late too. I
don't set alarms, so I just woke up when I needed to wake up.
We maybe have that same thing. Having to have an alarm is the worst thing in the world for me. Like, I know my next day is going to suck. Hank Green did a thing with somebody recently where he mentioned growing up with ulcerative colitis and how YouTube was kind of the job he ended up with because it's the only job he could really do successfully because working around your health issues, is a big, it's a hard thing to do, working around all the health issues and shit. And so, it was basically, he said it was the job I could do. And I feel that so much for a couple of reasons. One, the health issues. This company is technically my third company. My first company, I would say, was a failure, though it wasn't like I didn't ever have to declare it a bankruptcy. We did concert and events promotions. It did fine. It wasn't my full-time thing, but it was fine. My photography business was arguably getting quite successful right when my YouTube career took off. I've always had to, but those other ones that even had like appointments and shit like that were rough because of health stuff. But then the other thing is, if I wake up to an alarm, my whole day is ruined. There's just something about it, and I can't. And I'm definitely like genetically a night owl. My ancestors were the ones who stayed up overnight to make sure the tigers didn't eat you, and then you covered them until the afternoon. Like, those are definitely what my ancestors were up to.
My ancestors usually didn't get to sleep much.
And let's not talk about when our ancestors met each other. Okay, so let's not talk about the crossover. Are you wondering if whether or not through my father's side I have Mayflower family? Let's not worry about that. Because at the very least, my parents were so irresponsible. At least I didn't have generational wealth. So I get a slight, not a full. I only benefit from societal white supremacy. I didn't get that sweet ancestor money.
Ever so slightly.
Yeah. It's a slight reprieve. What happened to that call? Because the other call, you know, why I'd be wary of it. Should I be wary of that call?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's just off topic.
No. We love a God question on Sundays.
I love to speak about religion.
Yeah. I mean, at least it's not getting started with the trans topic, so then that's the whole show. I'd way rather this accidentally make the whole show about God doesn't exist than it accidentally making the whole show about, hi, you know how you just completely refuted the arguments that I have about trans kids getting treatment and trans people in sports? What if I repeat the same points? There's no but. That's the whole thing. It's literally, that's what happens every time. And then a lot of times they're like, oh, I didn't catch it until the end and didn't bother to rewind and listen to find out that you already did all of this. My loveliest love, would you actually bring me a box of cholestyramine? I'm just going to keep a box on the desk back here.
Yeah.
My alarm just went off. I need to take mine. Thank you. You're the best. Okay. Ooh, is that a mac and cheese dog?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
At first I thought it might be an egg salad dog. I know. That's how I felt.
I was disrespectful.
There are people who like those at barbecues. Like, do people put egg salad on their dogs?
I sure don't. I don't know anyone that does.
Oh, by the way, guys, it's kind of my birthday, so no big deal.
I thought your birthday was yesterday or
Thursday. It was Thursday.
Yeah.
But this is the birthday weekend, which I'm fine with as a creator extending it to. Your birthday's today or tomorrow?
My birthday's Wednesday. I think technically we're as far away from your birthday as we are close to my birthday.
It's our birthday.
It's our birthday today.
Can you figure out what a nickname would be for you where your last initial becomes the letter S? Jovan.
You want me as a black man to change my name to better fit a white man?
Well, kind of. If you go to line, because then you'll see why. Go to linemerch.com. Anyway, people, for a couple more days, you can buy the birthday merch. That's my birthday merch. That is a code. Actually, I don't know if you ever found out what it is. So nobody spoil it in chat yet because we played this game. We didn't tell people. Yeah. Go to linemerch.com. There's 9 letters on the birthday merch. Those letters are, I'll write them in chat again. For people who who weren't here Thursday, and then we're going to take calls, I promise. It's HJS, colon, FYB, not colon, dash, GFY. The birthday merch reads that in a box. Yeah, do you want to first hear what Matt's guess was? Because that one's my favorite one.
Yeah, what was Matt's?
Has Jimmy Snow fucked your butt? Go fuck yourself.
That's good. Okay. I like Matt's answer.
Yeah, I do too. What was your guess?
Hey, Jimmy Snow, fuck your birthday, go fuck yourself.
Hey, so if you want your Hey Jimmy Snow, go fuck yeah, you did.
I'm so good.
First try. Fuck your birthday, go fuck yourself merch. There is an embroidered hat and an embroidered beanie. So the whole idea was if you could come up with an S, we could say it also means, hey, Jovan, sarcastic guy. Well, that needs an extra G. Sarcastic friend, you're bussin'. Go fuck yourself.
Do I get a portion of the merch if somebody buys it because of my birthday?
You literally, everybody gets a portion of all the merch. It's literally on the profit share. Yeah. I'm the least good at prioritizing even my own birthday of anybody.
Crazy.
That's all I'm profit share.
I forgot to get water.
So anyway, and then feel free to send fuck your birthdays, FYBs. That's our thing now, FYB. Linemerch.com, they're only available for a couple of days. He said his birthday is Wednesday, so that's the day I'm going to take him down. Jovan, sadly. Hey, Jovan, sadly. Fuck your birthday. Go fuck yourself. That's good. That's good. All right. As soon as Jovan gets back, we'll take this first call. Reminder, if you disagree with us, if you want to debate that Donald Trump is a good president, you want to debate that God exists. I thought this was going to be a debate caller for the strongest argument. I thought they were going to present one. We'll take it because we don't have somebody else. But if you want to call in,
Jovan Sadly is crazy.
Jovan Sadly is good. That one's funny. Hey, Jovan Sadly. And just like that, it became a meme on the line. I thought this was going to be a debate call. It's not. The debaters, 336-543-2101. We'll take this. It probably won't be long, to tell you the truth. Blanca in Spain. Blanca, how are you?
Hello. I'm sorry not to be a debate caller.
It's all right.
I was very curious because, it's been a couple of years that I've been an atheist, and I recently been very, very interested in, like, I don't know if you call it like that, atheist apologetics. I don't know if it's the right name. So I wanted to know what's like the best argument that you've been presented to, whatever, for God. Like the one that you think this is very compelling and this is very difficult to argue against.
There isn't one. Legitimately, there isn't one that's difficult to argue against. There are ones that I understand why they are compelling to other people. And it's kind of like, just substitute anything in. Like, Blanca, what's the best defense of astrology? Psychics? What's the best defense of leprechauns? What's the best defense of blah, blah, blah? And none of the answers are going to be actually like, oh, because they make a good argument that leprechauns are necessary or that blah, 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 blah. It's literally like the best, most compelling reason people are religious is because our parents told us to be, for the most part. We have evolved a tendency to trust our elders, especially from a young age, and to accept foundational things that they tell us as exceptionally true. So if this is why, like, fire is hot, we just kind of accept that and we move on because that is evolutionarily to our benefit. I know I recently was listening to Justin talk about too. We've also evolved a desire to have parents. And so having a parent, a God that's also a parental figure makes a lot of sense in that case. So I can't give you a most compelling argument. None of them are compelling arguments. And the ones that a lot of people mistake for the compelling arguments are, oh, my brain isn't putting together this philosophical argument they're making. There's some version of like the very over sophisticated language they're using that I'm like, do I know? Which that's how those stupid debates are meant to take place. It's supposed to literally be, if you don't know the memorized response to this philosophical thing I just said, you lose.
Yeah.
So there isn't a compelling argument, but there are reasons why.
Even though there's not a compelling one, I do think there are arguments that I think are better than others. Like I think what is it? Not first mover, but maybe it's the first mover one. The argument that like the universe has energy and what was the first source of that energy isn't a terrible argument, but it doesn't prove God. Like half of the arguments that Christians or any other theists say prove God, they don't actually prove God. They prove some mythical third thing that they then tack God onto. So there's there's good arguments, but I don't think they're compelling for a God.
For me, it's the reason why I don't find that one like good or compelling either way is that it starts with I have to grant you the premise that there was a before, which we don't even know, that the question makes sense, that because you can articulate it, it must be an answerable question. And so that's my problem with them, is like, and then when people call in with them, it's like, I'm sorry, where did you get before from? How have you established there was a before known time? Like, that's why it just doesn't do it for me. Doesn't wiggle my nips one bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you have any theist friends you could have call in though and argue?
Yes, I do, but they don't. I don't think that they would be very happy to.
You never know until you try.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, there's this show. I really want you guys to. I just find you so compelling. I don't know what to do. You should call in.
They are very like sentimentalist Christians. They are not very rational. I don't think that it's going to be a very, I don't know, interesting conversation.
I think I would be very interested.
I can let them know, like,
yeah.
The
lines are open. The lines are. I'll debate a progressive Christian all day long. That they're. I mean, from fundamentalist to progressive, I think all of their beliefs are harmful. So, yeah, send them. And if you're watching now and you have a MAGA dad, we still want a piece of your MAGA dad. Send your MAGA dads.
I do have a MAGA mom. Yeah.
Send your MAGA mom.
Get your mom to call in. Tell your mom to call us.
Yeah. Send your MAGA mom. I have a little bit of a bigoted. Let's just go for it. I might be a little bit bigoted when it comes to MAGA mom. Is your mom an alcoholic?
No. No.
You sure? I just get the feeling that all MAGA moms are alcoholics. It only makes sense that way to me. But oh well.
No, she's very anti-alcohol, but she's very addicted to.
Oh, she went the other way. She's the puritanical that found a different thing to be addicted to. God, Coca-Cola. What is she, a Mormon? I'm allowed to because I get migraines. That's the Mormon mom excuse for my literal mom, by the way. That's the Mormon mom excuse for why she's medically exempt from the no caffeine rules. And then my mother.
She's a Catholic now.
My mother became addicted to Coke. The other kind. I became addicted to the good Coke. She became addicted to the soda. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah, send us your mom, Blanca.
I wish I could, but I'm not with her. But I let her know that you exist and that she can talk to you.
Okay, thanks. Bye, Blanca.
Goodbye.
Oh my God.
Yep, I saw it.
Why does he think we don't know? Let me see if he even catches it. Let's see. We're going to talk to Billy in Utah. Billy is a MAGA from Utah. Billy, how are you?
I'm good.
Interesting, because you just told the screener your name is Nathan.
Well, you guys usually call me Billy Nathan, so I just figured to go along with it.
I'm sorry, Nate Billy. Nate goes first.
Yeah, Nate
Billy
Billy.
goes second.
Nathan Billy. Is this a Mark Wayne situation? I prefer.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's.
I prefer. What?
No, I said I'm assuming it's interchangeable at this point.
I prefer Billy because ultimately, when you start talking over me or you need to take a breath, I enjoy more going Billy, 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 Billy more than Nathan. Nathan. I could make either work. Anyway. What you got today, Billy?
Well, I'm still going to stay firm. I think what Trump is doing overall is a great thing for America's interest.
Why does Trump make you firm?
I'm sorry?
Why does Trump make you firm?
Oh, because I believe in his agenda of implementing geopolitical dominance. And the first step doing that is to target a juggernaut in the Middle East. And I believe Operation Fury is going to come to fruition within 4 to 5 weeks if he does it correctly.
So would you have
change the whole landscape?
Would you have voted against a candidate in the general election who had a position that is different than his if they were like that basically they were like, yeah, we're not going to go to war with Iran, we're not going to be doing wars? Because you're saying you believe in Donald Trump's agenda, so you would have voted against anybody who had the opposite agenda to what Donald Trump has, right?
Well, I know what you're trying to get at, and it's a trap.
Okay, great. Since you know why I'm trying to get at, tell me why it's wrong. Because you're saying you are for his agenda that even Republicans who voted for him are saying, he told us he wasn't going to do this. He lied to us and said, we're not doing new wars. We're not going to wars in Iran. We're not doing regime changes. We're not going to be the world police. So please explain, not to me, but your Republican cohorts who said, I voted for Trump because he said he would not do what he's doing now. Explain to them why you voted for Trump back when his agenda was the opposite of what he's doing right now.
Oh, absolutely. Because voicing that you don't want to start any new wars is politically
Ooh, that's
smart.
not what he said. He didn't just voice it. Oh, wait. Sorry, go ahead then. Go ahead. He didn't just voice it. Wait, I think you're about to say, tell me if I'm wrong. I think you're about to say, saying you don't want to start any new wars is smart. So then when you start the wars, they weren't expecting them. Is that what you're about to say?
No, what I was about to say, that voicing that you don't want to start any new wars is politically smart in the general election because the majority
lying is the politically smart thing to do.
Can't stomach the idea of offensive strike on another country that's not an imminent threat. But once you get into the executive branch, reality sets in.
Hey, Nate Billy. Nate Billy, I don't care about any of this. Nate Billy, how many school kids is enough dead school kids?
Okay. So as you very may well know, that when it comes to war, collateral damage is inevitable.
Oh, I'm sorry. They said we're not at war. Excuse me. Donald Trump said we're not at war. So what are you talking about, war?
Okay. So sometimes presidents lie, which is understandable because they can read the
So wait, we are at war?
Yes, we are.
Without a congressional declaration of war? That's illegal.
So you're glad Donald Trump violated the Constitution and is lying to further justify his violation of the Constitution? That's the summary of what you just said. Can you tell me if that's correct?
I'm not exactly sure if you understand the hidden power of the executive branch.
Whereas I'm completely sure you don't understand. So you're not sure whether or not I understand, and I'm positive you don't.
You think that the War Powers Act that was implemented in 1973 is somehow effective and can curb the executive branch power when they decide that another
Can you point to me in the Constitution where it says I'm sorry. Can you point to me the exact article of the Constitution that says that the executive branch has powers to declare war?
Okay, there's nowhere in the Constitution that entails that the executive branch can declare war without Congress approval. What I'm
sir, you literally just said Donald Trump. Sir, you literally just said Donald Trump is lying about being at war so he can continue to be at war. So you are the one making the case that he is going after not an illegal, unconstitutional war. You're the one making the case for us. We don't have to. So you sitting there and go, he's not, he still has the power, blah, blah, blah. And even if you want to say he has the emergency powers to do it, then he should then go to Congress and justify it. But Congress wouldn't even curb his power this week because they were basically threatened by Donald Trump that if they do, he's going to primary the people who vote against him, because that's been the ongoing thing, anybody who takes away the interest. So it is, in fact, you here by saying the president lies sometime about what? A literal constitutional matter. We're not even arguing about whether or not the war is justified. It isn't. And this isn't how they're going to get. There's a reason why Iranians are glad the Ayatollah is dead and otherwise terrified, because American liberation in the Middle East never looks like liberation, because people like you, Nathan, tend to think the enemy is the country and not the foreign military, which is why you can say things like an entire girls' school got blown to smithereens. And that's just collateral damage. Meanwhile, we're not at war. We had time, and yet we couldn't figure out not to accidentally misplace our missiles in the face of little girls. Nathan, do you think that this war serves America's interest more or Israel's interest more?
I believe it serves America's interest because if the
more, I'm sorry, your question was, does it serve more? The question was more. Does it serve America's interest more or Israel's interest more?
I believe it serves more for America's interest.
That's absurdly stupid.
Because if Operation Fury comes to fruition and it meets the deadline within 4 to 5 weeks, resulting in Iran fully giving up, this will send a huge symbolic message to other superpowers that the
and what
US
should that,
can,
Billy? What should that symbolic message be specifically?
Meaning they will curb their enthusiasm of entertaining the idea of invading other countries, for example, China.
That argument is pretty bad. He's the one who said curb your enthusiasm. Hey, Billy, how did that work out? How did that work out after Iraq?
How did what work out after Iraq?
Us going and attacking and causing the regime to give up, having them evacuate power, and us not having a good way in place to support the people than having a people's government in power, because no plan like that has so far been articulated.
I understand where you're coming from. If you're just looking at this strictly through historical patterns, you tend to deem it as a low probability that the Operation Fury is going to end up as an epic failure.
Is somebody giving you $10 every time you say Operation Fury? Because you sound like a dude like a fucking 10-year-old in a PUBG lobby right now. We're going, guys. So, it's time for Operation Fury. Like I just want you to know I think you're a joke. To be very, very clear.
How am I sounding like a 10-year?
Yeah, Operation Fury is already a super stupid name, and the fact that you keep repeating it when it literally sounds like what kids make their team name on PUBG, that's why you sound ridiculous. So, but I mean, that's just the most recent reason you sound. And by the way,
Billy,
it's Epic Fury.
Do you want me to change the name of the
Billy, stop. Billy, stop.
For the record, really no, he's not even getting that name correct. It's Epic Fury.
Just really quick. Is there a point, I don't know what it might be, I'm asking you, in a war where you've killed too many kids? Or is any amount of kid death justifiable?
That's very subjective, sir, and it all depends on who's looking at it.
No shit, it's subjective. Now, I asked you, Billy. No shit. What do you think asking you the question meant? Please answer it. I don't want the rigmarole. I don't want any of this. Just answer. Is there a number where there are too many deaths of kids, or are all deaths justified if it meets the end goal?
Sir? The objective to disarm Iran's
God damn, why can't you answer the fucking question?
God damn.
Capabilities.
God damn, why can't you answer the question, you fucking spineless coward? You're a spineless coward. Answer the question. I asked you a question.
That beep was me muting you since you were deciding to not answer the question and then talk over Jovan. So, Jovan, you can unmute him whenever you like.
Jimmy, real quick, let me ask you, how many children's deaths are justifiable, Jimmy, do you think?
In a not war, I don't really support any amount of death.
Great. See how easy it is to answer that question, Nate Billy? Now, I just want an answer to the question. I don't want to hear
Any
shit
child
else,
law,
but an answer to the question.
Oh my God, he was talking while muted.
any child being killed in a war who has nothing to do with it is a tragedy. Now,
I didn't ask
you're
if it was a
asking me
tragedy. Why
what,
are you such a coward? Are the deaths
how am I being a coward,
justified?
sir?
Are the deaths justified? Yes or no?
It's not justified, but it's in the category of collateral damage.
And that
Now,
was
the
you just justifying
objective,
it, stupid. Saying it's collateral damage is justifying it, you numbnuts. If you're
I
saying the war,
just
there's a
said it's a
if
tragedy because they have nothing.
if you're saying, Billy, if you're saying, hey, this war needs to happen, so we have to do this war, and then you go, well, these deaths are bad, they're tragic, but they're collateral to this war that we have to have, then yes, you've just justified the deaths, you spineless coward. Stop fucking pussyfooting around it and just say, yes, I think
I'm
these
not.
deaths are justified. God damn, dude.
Hey,
Such a
hey,
coward.
hey, Billy Nathan.
Depending.
BN, real quick. Does the U.S. government owe the families of those daughters reparations for killing their kids?
That's a very strong case that you're bringing up, and if they pursue that route, then yes, I do believe that.
Great. What method of pursuit do they have to pursue that route?
Because those 150 plus kids that got their lives taken away weren't involved.
No. You are fundamentally misunderstanding the question. That is not the question. You said if they pursue that case, they have a strong case. I asked you what method of pursuit of that case exists for them. How can they pursue that case?
I have no idea how they can pursue it. I guess they can go through the United Nations and plead their case that the U.S. is responsible.
How does that work? How do they go to the United Nations? Their country is currently under siege from a foreign invader. How do they go to the United Nations in a war-torn country where they're afraid to even leave their homes right now, where their economy is being destroyed, where we are very recklessly fucking them over without a plan? How would they do that? How would they pursue justice for their children because they were murdered by the Americans?
So obviously they have to wait for the war to end before they can exude their grievance. So
would you say that because there's a chance those families, is there a chance that because there's a chance those families will also get killed by this administration, would you say that it's on the Americans to go ahead and now start keeping track of who they're killing unjustly to make sure those reparations are made after the war? Or would you say if nobody comes forward and makes claims after, the United States wasn't really, they're not really responsible for making sure people get justice? That's not the goal of the Americans. So if nobody comes after, we're off the hook for those murders.
Okay, so now we're going down a rabbit hole because...
Great, this is my rabbit hole in my show, so you're going to answer my question, not whatever bullshit you're wanting to go. You're not Kellyanne Conway, and we won't let her do it on the show either.
Sir, I'm giving you a complex answer because it's a complex question.
Nope, you aren't. You're talking about in war. The question is going. The question if you begin with the answer, I will then let you explain your answer. But we're not going to do just trust me at the end of my lecture. I'm getting to it. So begin with the answer. If nobody comes forward and looks for justice for the collateral damage, as you call them, is the United States off the hook, or should the Trump administration be keeping track of the collateral damage so we can issue reparations to them?
The United States is off the hook because no one is coming forward with their grievances.
Exactly. And are there reasons why they wouldn't be able to come forward with their grievances as a result of the war?
Yes, absolutely.
So we're still off the hook in that situation?
Yes.
You are a morally bankrupt piece of shit. No wonder you voted for Donald Trump.
Okay, sir, I'm not exactly sure why you're entertaining accusations about my character. I'm just giving it to you blunt and from
Entertaining
a realist
accusations?
point
No,
of
sir.
view.
I made the accusation.
If only we've talked to Nate Billy multiple times, so we've heard him say absolutely morally
You're-
reprehensible shit.
It's funny that he
Damn.
said
You're
entertaining
insinuating-
accusations about my character, which suggests he hears this a lot and thinks that I'm talking about what other people have said. I made the accusation. I wouldn't entertain one. I made it. I made the accusation that you are a morally bankrupt piece of shit.
And I'm just giving it to you from a realist point of view. If the
At least you're
the
giving it to
objective
somebody.
is
Must be new for
geopolitical,
you.
if the objective is geopolitical dominance to sustain the number one superpower status, it makes sense to target the juggernaut of the Middle East because their influence has a good portion of the global economy, and since they're an
Hey, Billy?
adversary and has been
Billy, what if
labeled
our
a number
goal
one
was to
state
maintain the
sponsor in
number
terrorism.
one? What if our goal was to maintain the number one dominant spot, but no country deserved to be invaded? But the way to get the number one spot would be to invade a country to keep it. Would it be justified to still do it then? Would it be like, you know what? We had to do it because our goal was to keep the dominant. Like, my God, it's you are not beating the accusations here of being a piece of shit, because you're literally saying the reason those kids are dead is our goal wasn't peace for the Iranians, wasn't even regime change. It is to maintain the spot of international dominance as the number one superpower in the world. That's the goal that justifies killing kids?
Well, if it results to a regime change where
Nope,
they
that wasn't
transition
that wasn't your argument. Your argument wasn't going for
Sir,
regime change.
Even the
You
regime
said-
change is stupid as fuck, because didn't Homeboy's son take over, who's way more radical than he is?
Right. There
What
has
fucking
been no
regime
actual
change? God, you're the worst.
There's no plan for regime change. And not only that, they killed a man who was dying. So the succession plan was already in place. This is why when Kim Jong-il died, Kim Jong-un just took over. And if we had killed Kim Jong-un the month prior, or Kim Jong-il the month prior, it wouldn't have not been Kim Jong-un. They killed an old man at a man who was actively dying at the cost of a school of children.
Okay. My heart goes out to the Iranian girls.
Nobody cares.
No, it
They're
doesn't.
dead.
Shut the fuck up. No, it doesn't. Shut
What-
up.
What the
Shut
fuck
the
good does
fuck
that do?
up.
Okay.
How
So at this
does
point,
your heart going out to them? How does your heart going out to them help them? They're dead. And you're literally sitting here justifying their deaths and explaining the way America's off the hook. If, by the way, there is no apparatus for their parents to get justice. That doesn't exist. Okay? And their parents, there's a lot of reasons why they wouldn't be able to get justice. So what in the world does the phrase, my heart goes out to them, even do fucking anybody but make you sit there like any activist who ever says thoughts and prayers thinks they're an activist? You sit there and do fucking nothing. How old are you, Billy?
What am I supposed to do? I'm just an
How old are
average Joe.
How old are you?
I'm 43 years old, sir.
Go overseas. You can do what is it? Civilian contractor support.
And okay, I'm not exactly sure why you're even bringing that up.
Go put yourself in
But
danger.
again-
Go put yourself in danger. Go fight the war. You can't enlist, but there are civilian contractor positions. In fact, a lot of people make a lot of good money that way. Go put yourself in danger. Go join the war that you are so keen on fighting. And when somebody kills you and your dad calls this show, I'll let him know my heart goes out to you, okay? It'll
Just
really help
because
your
I'm
dad to know.
advocating for the war.
It'll really
Just
help
because-
your dad to know that my heart went out to you dying, just so you know. Right? Won't it?
just because I'm advocating for the war doesn't mean that I want to cause hindrance to my self-interest and get involved in it.
Right.
That doesn't
You
make
only
any
want
logical
other
sense, sir.
people's self-interest. You only want all of the soldiers who, by the way,
Okay.
may have been feeling some level of comfort when Donald Trump was running for president and you say was lying about not going to war. Your heart goes out to the dead people, but fuck the soldiers who were like, thank goodness, because I was worried Donald Trump was going to get us killed in Iran. And Donald Trump is out here promising he's not going to do that. Oops, he's doing that. But, you know, I'm sure your heart goes out to them.
Who's your favorite president, sir?
Doesn't matter.
You don't have a favorite president?
There is zero way this is in any way related to the show isn't we go where you want to go. And in America,
I just want to make a point.
You're asking for me which one is my favorite war criminal. I probably do have one. It won't mean that they're good because at this point in America, the way America is set up, it's essentially impossible to become president of the United States and not on the first day become a war criminal. That's how corrupt our industrial war complex is.
So you do believe
he didn't understand
that
most of those words you just used.
I know.
Okay, so you do believe that the U.S. getting involved in World War II was a necessity, correct? Or am I wrong about that?
We're gonna move on, Billy, because No, I'm not. I'm not doing. This isn't becoming your show. This isn't becoming your thing, and you sitting there and pretending this is somehow remotely comparable to World War II. By the way, you recognize it's a necessity. You know who didn't recognize it as a necessity? America. Literally America until Hawaii happened. Until Pearl Harbor happened, America was like, all of that like fucking fascist oppression that's happening over there, we got stock markets back here to worry about. Literally, until they came to our shores, we weren't liberating anybody. We weren't saving any Jews. You literally picked the war we were tardy to make some stupid point. Billy, those are the only types of points
the war, by the way, that like it would have been won without us. Let's just call it $1.50.
And literally, we justify let's actually maybe I will let Billy back on because Billy's also talking about the war where we dropped 2 atomic bombs when we already had intelligence Japan was heading towards surrender. It was unnecessary. So we dropped 2 atomic bombs and killed thousands of civilians. Let's do it, Nathan. What's your point about World War II that's so good about World War II?
Okay, so you do believe that the U.S. should be involved in World War II after Pearl Harbor? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, the United States decided that. You don't get a yes or no me. I'm not your dancing monkey. The United States decided it was not responsible. It had no moral duty to be there. It had no dominance duty to be there. The only reason we went to war was because we had to do the popular thing, not the necessary thing, the popular thing after our base in Pearl Harbor was attacked.
Okay, so Pearl Harbor was attacked. Do you believe that FDR should put on an army uniform and get involved in World War II himself?
I would have loved for him to do that. But by the way, you're not the president. Technically,
so
FDR, by the way, excuse me, Nathan. Hey, Nathan, is Donald Trump considered a valid military target now in war? Yes or no? Since we're yes or knowing each other.
Okay.
Is he or is he not?
Iran's perspective, from the Iran's administration perspective.
From the rules of war. If Donald Trump were to be killed by Iran, would that be considered a war crime?
Okay, it all depends on who's looking at it from Iran's perspective.
I can't.
No, it doesn't, Nathan.
No, okay.
I'm gonna lose my shit, bro.
Donald Trump, I'm not endorsing Iran for the record, since somebody's going to get all butthurt in the comments. I'm not endorsing that Iran should or shouldn't do anything when it comes to the president. Donald Trump, as far as international law goes, as far as what is a war crime, is technically in the war. I guarantee you he is going to try and show that off. So you're even bringing up an example of you are sitting here sidelining a war that you're not willing to fight, going, so do you believe the president should be in the war? Technically, he is. Is he protecting himself? And is he protecting billionaires? And is he in no actual danger? Yes, absolutely, because that's the corruption. In fact, the reason why a person who forgets about the whole slavery aspect might look back at George Washington as such an exceptional leader is because he didn't fight in a war he wasn't a part of. He did put his money where his mouth is. Whereas instead, Donald Trump, with no enlisted children, and even if he did, would figure out a way to protect them as well, is sitting there and going, hey, we're going to war for, as Billy said, to have the same superpower, which is a economic establishment. Be so clear. We're talking about how we are economically received on the world stage. The military is fighting a war to make sure that our stock market is the best. Somebody else's kids who weren't born rich are dying so that we can keep our stock market a certain way, and so that one of our allies who just fresh off of a genocide could get another one started. That's what we're fucking doing. Billy, I have no interest in you. You aren't capable of these conversations. Should the president be enrolled in the president literally is enrolled in the war. I'm sorry, his position is the commander-in-chief. If Billy wants to become president to avoid joining the war, I will accept that outcome. All he has to do is pull that off. And MAGA's stupid enough to potentially put someone like Billy as president. I know, look at the president. Okay.
Billy's such a spineless fucking coward, bro.
This one's yours. I'll let you have Steve. I'll be good. I'll be good.
Oh my God.
Steve in Florida. Steve in Florida, you are on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. How are you, Steve?
All well, Jimmy. Can you hear me okay?
Just fine. And how old are you?
Old enough to be your dad.
Dad? Are you my dad?
Yeah, could be.
Old enough. In the last 3 elections, who did you vote for?
Trump.
All 3 times?
I don't remember the other election. Who was the other? It was Trump. Yeah, Trump. Yes.
Hillary, Biden, Harris were your other options. So Trump.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
By the way, it's actually breaking news. But I assume, Jovan, you saw that it was coming. The Ayatollah's son has just been named Iran's new leader.
Yeah, that's literally why I said it earlier. Like, they literally just made it as, like, his son is more radical than he is. Like, it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, Steve, go ahead, make your case. I'm going to leave you with, I'll just tune out and play some Pocopia.
Actually, I have a question for you because I'm the Steve you keep asking to call in.
Finally, Steve. Jesus Christ. Let's pull up some comments from Steve.
Are there actual evil people in the world?
Actual evil people in the world from a secular humanist perspective? Of course.
Okay. So if you've got a country that's basically armed to the teeth and wanting to kill, actually even shooting at their own neighbors, killing their own neighbors that weren't even involved in the war, and have a massive hatred of another neighbor and have no problem killing those kids, you just let them go about it if they put kids on top of their roof, underneath their rocket launchers? Or do you just stand there? Oh,
Hey, Steve. This is a dumb question because the response is literally going to be, is war our only option?
In some cases, yes.
In this case,
you jabroni.
I think so, because look at all the stockpile they had.
Look at all the stockpile they had. The one that Donald Trump said he annihilated? I almost want to like. Can we do this in a minute? I'd like to actually read your comments out because I found some.
Well, I don't need to. We don't need to read comments because we're just going off of this debate.
I think all of this channel's hosts need to go to Iran and Gaza and wave their rainbow flag. Has anybody on this channel ever made the case that those are progressive countries where it is safe to be outwardly queer?
So you say that you agree then that they are evil, right?
That who is evil? The Islamic Republic? Yeah. Oh man, I'm really worried I'm going to lose woke points by saying the Islamic Republic is evil. Yes, but Steve, we're not going to war with North Korea. Well, why aren't we? Steve, why aren't we, with your standards, why aren't we at war with North Korea?
Because they're no threat.
Oh, got it. So it's not about if people are evil. It's not about undoing evil to you. It's not about the lives of other people who are losing their lives. It's about the threat to you that you trust Israel has articulated there is, despite the fact that our own intelligence, including people working for Donald Trump, has says, nah, they weren't really that close, and he did bomb that nuclear facility. It's already good. So you just called in pearl clutching, virtue signaling to the moon, but it's not even about whether or not people are evil. You don't think wars deserve to be fought if they're evil, only if they're a threat to us.
Well, are we evil?
Yes. America,
okay,
yes,
so
definitely.
Then we deserve this, right?
Deserve what?
Well, a war. I mean, we're evil. We're doing everything evil. I mean,
all crimes don't warrant all punishments. If I speed, I don't deserve the death penalty. Steve, no wonder. So many of your comments are so dumb. You have such a shallow surface level understanding of everything, and you think just the establishment of, are these people evil? Yes. Then what's wrong with the war? Why is war the remedy for that evil? Have we even successfully tried alternatives? Have we tried empowering the people of Iran to overthrow their government? Have we tried, so far what we've tried are killing a bunch of little girls and one old man.
You mean the government, the people had a parade about and were all happy of, and then they all took shots. The government, basically the religious side of the government, took shots at them and started killing thousands?
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you just say that did you just say that the Iranians had a parade for the government because they loved the government?
No,
and
they
then they got shot at by the government?
They were having what is it called? Celebrations for the death of the Ayatollah. And what happened is people that had talked out about it, they were all shot and gunned down practically, right?
Right. You're literally talking about the actions that happened after the war started, because we did not, if you were going to try and help the people overthrow their government, we did not empower the people to do so. And so, yes, there were people, who were happy the Ayatollah died, and because Trump and Israel had no plan to support them, not that they couldn't have, had no plan to support the people, only had the plan to serve their interests, which is why the Ayatollah's more radical son is now the leader of Iran. What success has Trump? The dying old man had a succession plan. He died.
Well,
his succession plan is still happening. Have we succeeded?
If he keeps taking out the religious theocrats, fascists that want to take over, if he keeps taking them out, doesn't that eventually end up being in favor of the people of Iran that want them out?
Like happened in Iraq and like happened in Afghanistan? Like that? Like where we went in and pretended to be great liberators and then we did not? Yeah, no shit, because you don't know shit. Iran. American Republicans go to war.
We're discussing Iran. I don't need to know anything about anything else. We're talking about Iran.
I'm sorry, Steve, do you think you just cooked with that? Steve, do you think you just cooked with you bringing up other Middle Eastern conflicts, one of which Donald Trump was a major part of us flubbing? Has no bearing on the performance, of middle. Hey,
Well,
I'm
why
sorry.
don't we just look at the
Which
performance
president?
of Iran?
Which president went and met with the Taliban and negotiated the Taliban's takeover of a country?
I have no clue, but we're just
Donald
talking about
motherfucking
Iran.
Trump. Donald Trump. This is why I have no confidence in Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has already killed one dying old man and a school full of little girls, plus other civilians.
He's killed more than one old man that wants to take charge.
And yet his son, who was the planned takeover guy, is the guy who took over.
And how long do you think, if he starts getting up there talking about more war and everything, how long do you think he's going to last?
Don't know, but they'll have a succession plan for him. This is the Islamic Republic. There's a reason why the Taliban is still in power in Afghanistan. You think they run out of martyrs? It's funny how there are some days...
Somebody's going to eventually figure out they don't want to martyr themselves. You just have to keep going through all the people that want to martyr.
And that's why ISIS doesn't exist anymore, right?
So Steve, you just want an indefinite war.
That don't want to martyr themselves.
Steve, you just want an indefinite war. You just want an indefinite war until eventually they decide to stop. Yes, you do.
Well, first of all, we're not actually attacking the people of Iran. We're basically just taking out the
151 schoolgirls would beg to differ.
You know
what if they were alive?
I'll tell you what, if you would probably not shoot a school of 150 kids in
probably
it, even if
I definitely wouldn't shoot a school of 150.
I also wouldn't run on not going to war with Iran and then go to war with Iran anyway.
And you would be playing into the enemy's hands, the evil people that are using them as a shield, so you don't stop them from blowing kids up.
How specifically? Hold on. How specifically were these schoolgirls used as a shield? Be specific.
Well, I don't think there was. I think they were just. Well, first of all, Trump's already said he thinks that they did that themselves.
Notice you can't fucking answer. Trump, we fired missiles at Iran 10 a.m. These were surprise attacks. They took Iran by surprise. The school blew up at 10:40. And you're saying, no, it definitely wasn't us, guys. Definitely wasn't us. Eat fucking shit. Eat shit. Eat so much shit. You're just ignoring the fucking question, dumbass.
Steve, I'm going to help you out.
Answer the actual question I asked you.
I'm going to help Steve. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you make this argument because I happen to agree that human shield shit is evil. So is your problem that putting a school for children next to military targets is what makes Iran evil? Because that is a human shield. Basically, if you're going to attack the military base that's next to a school, you're using them as a human shield. And now if they get hit by the collateral missiles, well, of course, that's what happened. The school is right next to the military target. Is that what you're trying to say so we can at least move forward?
Yes.
Great. I just lied, though. I'm not talking about Iran. I'm talking about Israel. Because everybody talks about how Iran and the Muslim countries, they use human shields because they put civilian targets and surround military targets by civilian establishments like schools. Except that's what Israel does.
Yeah,
Israel,
but the thing is Israel
puts their military bases next to schools. So can we at least agree right now, Steve, that Iran and Israel, when it comes to the human shield thing, they're essentially equal?
The evil side doesn't care if they kill people or kids.
So what you're saying it's evil when Iran does it because they don't care if the kids die, even if by the way, it's a school of girls that are getting the Islamic Republic propaganda. I don't know what makes you think they don't like the kids on their team. Okay. But it's evil when they do it because you figure the president doesn't care if those people die. But when Israel has human shields, they're really bummed about when their people die. So, Steve, will you tell me what the Hannibal Directive is?
Well, first of all, I don't.
Steve, what is the Hannibal Directive?
I think fully that the Israelis know that
Steve, what is the Hannibal Directive?
The theocratic evil people don't care if there's kids there or not. They're going to shoot anyway. Okay,
so do you want to change your argument then to something else that Iran does that's evil? Hang on, Steve. I'm going to help you this time. Steve, this time I'm going to actually help you. Let's actually talk about something evil Iran does. Iran has a policy in place where if their people start to get taken, arrested, picked up by the military, their military is instructed to kill those people instead of let them being taken as hostage. Can we agree that's evil?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Oh, just kidding. Once again, that's Israel. I just asked you what the Hannibal Directive is. You didn't know what it was, so you didn't see it coming again. In Israel on October 7th, the military, via the Hannibal Directive, was instructed to shoot Israeli hostages that were being taken so that they weren't taken alive, so that their bargaining power was less. So once a fucking again, Steve, you don't know shit about shit, and you definitely don't know shit about who the bad guy is, and you're sitting there going, oh, but in Iran, let's read some of your recent comments. Atheists here are special for going to bat for a fascist theocracy that murdered thousands of their own last week, which is not a representation that would happen. Also, thousands of our own? Do you think that the people of Iran are a bunch of atheists?
Well, first of all, didn't we just agree that Iran has no problem using people as human shields? So, I mean, when are you wailing?
No, excuse me, Steve. That isn't what we agreed on. All right, we're going to have to mute you. That isn't what we agreed on since you're trying to misrepresent it. It was pointed out to you that what you call human shields is literally things Israel and America does. And then you wouldn't concede to that. You said, well, it's different because Iran doesn't care when the human shields die, but Israel does. Then it was pointed out to you that Israel literally tells its military to kill hostages, Israeli hostages, to lessen their bargaining power. So no, Steve, we're not just going to say, haven't we agreed it's evil? As long as you acknowledge that any human shielding, and by the way, the school wasn't next to a military base in Iran. That was you falling for the trap, as is easy to do with people as shallow-minded as Steve. So, Steve, if you want, you can keep digging yourself deeper, but I'd like to keep reading your comments out and see how you defend them. We'll unmute you now. Oh, shit, I didn't. I thought I hit it. Here you go, Steve.
You still there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why are you such an Andrew Wilson simp, by the way?
Oh, I love him.
I know you do. It's literally your very top link. Is it his sexual charisma or his encapsulating smile? Intoxicating
it's his inability
smile.
to open a pickle jar.
It's his hair and beard, man.
Right. That would be the only thing that it could be, because he lives a life of utter hypocrisy.
Well, the interesting thing about when you bring up hypocrisy is you guys really don't have an objective moral foundation, so you really can't be hypocrites. You can make up anything you want.
Steve, you don't have an objective moral foundation.
I use an objective moral foundation.
No, you don't. I can say that too. Objectively, things either are compatible with secular humanism or not. Whether we make a mistake from time to time about whether we got that right, nonwithstanding, I can say I use secular humanism. Yes,
for the abortion of undesirable humans.
Undesirable humans? What does that even specifically? What do you mean? I don't believe that it is up to America, the government, or anybody else to tell a woman what to do with her body, or any other pregnant person, and be in there with them. Nor do I find abortion itself immoral. So whether the reason why a person gets an abortion has no bearing on whether or not they should get it.
So you're the humanist for human mothers to murder their own children for as much as
no, because it's not murder. No, because it's not murder.
Oh, it's not murder.
Correct.
If I call slavery,
I'm sorry, this is blowing your mind that I don't accept that abortion is murder. Excuse me, what?
it not being not a human child that's being killed? A human
Correct.
being?
It is not correct. You are correct. It is not a human child that is being killed.
It's not a human being. Was it a cat?
It is not a person. It has not achieved personhood.
Not a person. Oh,
Right.
personhood.
So, Steve.
So you're
hey,
using
Steve.
the same argument the Nazis did for certain human beings that weren't persons.
Why are we doing this lazy ass shit?
Right. This is
so fucking lazy, dude.
Bottom of the barrel abortion argument.
Shit.
And how many mustached people believe in genocide? I mean, Hitler had a mustache. I have a mustache. We must both be into genocide.
When a woman gets pregnant, is it a human being that she's carrying? Yes or no?
No.
It's not a human being. So what exactly is it?
If we're describing a human being as a human who has achieved personhood, then no.
Oh, so you've got qualifiers to become a human being.
Correct. You have to have achieved personhood.
Just like we all do.
Literally, is it wrong, Steve, to pull the plug? Excuse me, Steve. Excuse me, Steve.
But that's what you do.
Is it immoral to pull the plug on a brain dead individual?
Pull a plug
on a brain dead individual. Their body is still alive. It's still chugging along. However, they have lost their personhood. Their brain is gone. It's no longer a part of the equation.
Well, if they're actually brain dead and they're dead, the only reason you'd be keeping them alive is to make yourself feel good.
No, there's always the mystery of one in every however many people we misunderstood their state of brain dead, and occasionally somebody comes back.
All right. Well, then, if that's the case, then why are you for abortion? Because we know after 9 months they're not going to be brain dead.
Oh my
Excuse
God,
me, this is about you. I am for abortion the same reason I am okay with pulling the plug on a brain dead person. They no longer have their personhood. And an abortion that happens before 25 weeks, what is immoral? If it's not immoral to pull the plug on a brain dead person, what's immoral about pulling the plug on a person who has no brain activity in the womb?
They're going to come out of their brain dead coma in 9 months.
Doesn't matter. They haven't, though.
They will.
They've never experienced. They have never achieved personhood. They never have sentience. Why do we owe a non-person an eventual personhood?
Because they will come out of the coma.
Why do we owe it to them? Do you owe your sperm personhood? Your sperm has the potential to become a person. Do you owe your sperm personhood before it has it?
Show me where a sperm spontaneously turned into a human being.
I'm sorry. Why did you just change the argument? That wasn't the argument.
This is fucking so stupid. Steve, shut up. Steve, what is the harm when you kill a fetus prior to 24 weeks?
It's killing a human being.
Why is that bad? Why is that bad?
Because it's a human being. As a humanist, I thought you would be
Steve, I love Steve.
The circular
Steve,
reasoning.
what I love about you is that you can't answer a question without just repeating the fucking question. Why is it bad to kill a human being, Steve?
Oh, in the Christian ethics, it's because we're created in the image of God and therefore have a bit of divinity in us.
Prove God.
Specialness. Prove good.
Prove God.
Prove good.
You made the claim, buddy. You don't understand what burden of proof is. You just said it's bad because of the Christian ethics, and you now have to support. You now have to. Right now we're evaluating your. Hey, right now we're evaluating your claim, which is that according to the Christian ethic, as soon as you do yours, you're the one who most recently made a claim. So. Go ahead. Prove using the Christian ethic. If it's not evil to
kill human beings, why are we discussing this?
You've already acknowledged that it's at times not
Jimmy,
evil to kill humans.
It's so stupid. Like I'm getting dumber the more we have to talk to Steve.
Was it evil when Donald Trump killed those girls?
When a woman gets pregnant, what is she carrying? A human being or a cat?
Hey, Steve, those aren't the options. It's a false dichotomy.
Wait, really quick, Jimmy, real quick. I'm gonna flip it on the head of Jimmy. I don't think it's immoral to kill a human being. That's my stance. It's not. It's immoral to unjustly. Hold on. Stop fucking talking.
Yeah.
Maybe if you stop talking, you wouldn't have to assume and you'd hear the rest of the sentence, you goddamn moron. I think it is wrong to unjustly kill sentient human beings. I don't give a fuck if we kill fucking non-sentient creatures. I don't care. Fucking cry about it. You're the one who said it's wrong to kill all human beings. Why, Steve? Can you answer the why and defend it? Or are you going to be a little fucking bitch and run away from the fucking conversation?
So let's just say Iran came up with a pill.
So answer number 2, you're going to be a little bitch and run away from the conversation.
Right. You're literally not answering the question.
I don't give a fuck. Answer the question I asked you, you fucking coward. Answer the question. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Answer the question I asked you, you fucking coward. Answer the question I asked you.
Repeat it all over again.
No.
Yeah, because you weren't listening. No, I'm not going to repeat it. Fuck you.
All right, so Steve's muted again because Steve is just restating the same stuff. Steve doesn't actually even believe it's evil to kill people. Steve believes that it is literally, he said to the screener, it's justifiable to fight a war with child casualties if the enemy are using them as shield. So Steve literally believes it's okay to kill children if not the children have done something wrong, but somebody in close proximity to them has done something wrong. Literal physical proximity. That if they're being used as human shields, it's okay. It's justifiable. It's not murder. So let's get some other of these dumb comments in here. Let's see. Notice how the never and condemnation of actual Africans that sold their own people into slavery. Man, you got to work on your writing. Or the fact that there's more slavery there now than what existed in the U.S. All right, Steve. Why were you making the point on a video that was about a person calling in and saying, I as a white person didn't do slavery, so I don't deserve to be held accountable for it? Go ahead and defend your comment about how we weren't condemning Africans who sold people into slavery.
See, I still stuck on this problem. So I
don't care because you've already proven you can't engage that one in good faith, so we're doing a new one.
Hundreds of people hiding behind a child, huh?
And you said it's okay for them to die, correct? It's justifiable to kill those children if they're being used as a human shield. That's what
Jimmy,
you told the screener.
Jimmy, you want to hear a story? You want to hear a story, Jimmy?
Let's just make it one.
Jimmy, the other day a robber came into my house, Jimmy, right? A robber came into my house and I had a gun, so I was going to take the robber out. But the robber grabbed my grandmother to use as a human shield. So you know what I did? I blasted right through her to fucking get to the robber.
Hell yeah. I liked the part when Killmonger did that in Black Panther to his girlfriend, and you walked away going, well, Killmonger was the good guy. Remember when you're like, he shoots through his girlfriend to kill Andy Serkis.
Low-key.
He shot through. No, he wasn't.
Low-key.
What are you talking about?
Low-key.
Do you not remember his position? His position was because they were colonizers, we should be colonizers because we're stronger.
Low-key, kind of the good guy.
No, he isn't.
You don't gotta make his case for him. I'm already sold. We should colonize because I hate how easily I fall for Jovan trolling me. It's annoying. Anyway, Killmonger was not the good guy. Anyway, everybody walked away and was like, yeah, for shooting through your girlfriend to kill Andy Serkis's character. No, because because you know the poll. You know you're gonna lose the poll. Lose the poll doesn't mean be wrong, and also people love siding with the person who disagrees. If you legitimately think Killmonger was in the right there, I don't even know what to do because that's fucking obviously absurd. He wanted to be a fascist. I don't know what to do with you anymore. Anyway, Steve, are you going to justify your shit about Africans being that when we're talking to a person about the responsibility of white people, modern day, to account for the white supremacy that they benefit from, that has a direct line back to slavery, you complain that we didn't bring up that Africans sold their own people into slavery and that there's more slavery now there than ever existed in the U.S. Are you going to defend that comment or are you going to go back to the one you've already lost on?
Well, no, Jovan wasn't using the right kind of analogy or scenario. Jovan only had one person in there. If Jovan said that the guy had a machine gun and he was a mass murderer and he was killing lots of people, and he was killing everybody in the neighborhood, killing out his entire family, and working on the entire family.
Get ready for this, Steve. You ready for this fucking hot take? It's never okay to shoot through the human shields to get to the person on the other side. Eat my asshole.
He's literally saying you should have shot your grandma.
And all your family, right?
He's literally saying you should have shot your grandma.
And all your family and friends, right, Jovan?
You're right. Next time these people use kids as human shields, we'll just kill all the kids. You're right. You got it, Steve. You're absolutely correct.
Hey, what made the school? Steve? What made the school in Iran a human shield school? How does that qualify as a human shield school? It shot. They hit the school directly. It wasn't a military target.
Who hit the shield?
America.
Who hit the shield? No,
not a shield. A school. America.
We're denying that.
America. No, we aren't. The U.S. literally this week, the U.S. intelligence came out and said it was us.
I just watched something where Trump just said on the TV.
Trump is not we. Trump is not we. The U.S. shot that school. And if it is the case, why is it that his DOJ and people are going out and saying it's the unfortunate collateral damage of war?
Trump literally said it wasn't us, and Hegseth had to step up behind him because he knew they would be fucking liable for some shit and go, well, we're still investigating that. Because he knows Trump was fucking wrong.
Who did shoot it?
So they don't know.
Steve, you literally have been here defending that it was okay because it was a human shield. Now you're changing to a different proposition. If we did do it, is it justifiable?
No, that's why we have precision weapons trying not to do that.
And so if you find out it was us, will that change your support for the war?
Well, no, there's always going to be casualties. It's an unfortunate thing of war. You can't avoid it.
So yes, you can avoid it by not shooting a fucking school, you idiot.
Well,
if you shoot military targets and not schools, schools of kids don't die. What do you think it was? Excuse me.
Schools military targets.
Excuse me. What do you think it was if it wasn't a school? What do you think it was if it wasn't a? What do you think it was if you don't think it was a school?
It was a school, but it was probably hit. If we did it, it was not.
So you don't even hold yourself to the things you said 10 seconds ago when you said you don't think it was a school?
Well, if that would. Sometimes things come out of my mouth not quite like when I want. So, but
it seems like all the time.
So here's
hey, what about the time you said being called a racist is used so much it's worthless or just a badge of honor, knowing the other side has no real argument of substance? Jovan, do you have an argument of substance that Steve here supports racism, participates?
No, personally, I think Steve should be a human shield.
An American human shield.
See now Jovan's thinking like the Iranians.
And well, you also acknowledge the Israelis. By the way, Americans literally.
Wait,
I lived in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
We don't have schools that are sat right next to military bases in the United States?
How close is too close, Steve? Let's say you have a nuclear base, literally a base that can shoot off nuclear bombs, therefore making it a prime military target for a military strike. How close is too close for a civilian school?
I'm listening to you.
I'm listening. I'm going to start making fun of how he talks now. Steve, the answer would be a number. How many miles?
Love it when
Steve, how many miles? Hey, Steve, how many miles is too close to a nuclear military base for a civilian school?
Wait. Hold on. Because we have to do the base level thing here. Steve, the only thing I want to hear from you right now, the only answer I want from you, what makes the specific school, the Shajara Tayaba Girls Elementary School, what made that a human shield? What made those girls human shields? If you say anything else other than the answer to this question, by the way, I'm dropping you and we're moving on.
I already did.
Propaganda thing to make everybody feel bad.
No, that didn't answer my question. Goodbye,
hang on,
Steve.
hang on. Don't, Jovan. Because he already said he just doesn't even think it was a school and he doesn't think we did it.
I know, but I don't care. I'm ignoring that. I'm ignoring that. I don't
There's
give a
a
fuck
reason
that he
why I
thinks
want him to
that.
answer this
Ignoring
question.
that.
There's a reason I want him to answer this question.
I want to get the why first.
Just don't hang up on him. He's not going to why. I promise. Let it go. I promise. Watch. Steve, we've agreed.
So
you
Jovan,
and I agreed. Steve, hang on. Nope, not yet, Steve. Nope, now you're muted because you don't get to talk over me. I just bailed you out of getting hung up on. You don't now get to ignore me. So you're muted again. Steve, your question is, you and I have agreed that putting a civilian school next to a nuclear military base is making a human shield, that you are putting civilians in danger by putting a military base so close to a civilian school for children. How many miles would you say makes that the problem? Within how many miles does a school have to be to a nuclear, a facility capable of shooting off nuclear missiles? I'm going extreme with you. How close does a school have to be to that for that to be considered human shield in miles? Go ahead.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. How many in miles? How close?
I don't think it matters how close it is when you're dealing with the Iranians that don't care about that.
Steve, we're just talking about in general, because countries go to war. We say if you put, this is actually international law for war crimes. Stop, Steve. Steve, you do not talk when I'm talking. You don't talk when I'm talking, or I will mute you every fucking time. Steve, within how many miles? This is what international law is based on. If you put a civilian school next to a nuclear missile facility, how many miles would make it, that civilian target, a human shield? How many miles?
Against evil people that don't care. It wouldn't matter how many miles.
Steve, everybody thinks they're not the evil ones.
Coward.
So let's say, Steve, let's say tomorrow Iran takes over America and they just use our existing bases and our existing schools. So now you agree that they are evil. How close to the base of a nuclear missile facility would a school need to be a civilian shield target?
So let me get this right. They take over a nuclear missile base. They have a school and they bring kids to it.
And it literally doesn't.
They're hiding behind kids to blow up the rest of the country. And
no, because that's not. Oh my God, Steve, and you would let that happen. So this is why Steve won't answer the question. Because Steve knows he's about to fail. The reason why they're considered human shields isn't that they're purposely putting them there. It's that it's in a situation where if you are that close, when international law is evaluating war crimes and shit, if you allow your base to be that close, then when your valid military target is attacked, the chances of higher collateral damage to that school of children goes up. So whether you are the good guys or the bad guys, it's called a human shield because the collateral damage will kill civilians, and a group of people who care about life may sit there and go, hey, that shield's in the way. Maybe I shouldn't hit it. And by the way, Steve has been here saying like, it's actually fine to shoot anyway. We should hit them. So it being a human shield isn't succeeding at all, but it's a human shield either way because it causes civilian collateral damage to children from either side. It doesn't matter if you're good or bad because it's close. Now, I went to high school in Cheyenne, Wyoming. That is one of our biggest nuclear bases. I can walk in under probably 15 minutes from my high school to the closest point of that base where those nukes are. In fact, there are then other civilian targets. In fact, the town is basically built around that place. So forget that there are childcare facilities on the base itself. Literally everything he is describing as human shields, America does. America puts their civilian children in danger. In fact, growing up, we were told this in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Just so you know, even though it seems like we're out there in the middle of nowhere, your family should have some kind of emergency plan because the Air Force base here is a prime military target because that's where we keep the nukes. I was raised with that shit. I was raised being told, just so you know, you are the expected collateral damage of a war because we put the base so close to the school. And Steve, instead of actually engaging the conversation and addressing the fact that we do it too, but he thinks the difference is we'd be sad, even though we won't be sad, we'll go on TV and lie and say we didn't do it. And then we'll call into call-in shows if we are Americans doing it. We'll call into call-in shows and go, well, the girls' school, you know, collateral damage, da 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 da. If human shields are effective and what matters is how much people care, Steve, the only question you get to answer is, why didn't the human shields stop us from attacking Iran?
Well, so your lesson to the Iranians is just grab some kids and you'll never take a shot at them while they're killing everybody else.
Great. So Steve didn't answer the question, but he kind of showed what his answer is. The reason why we ignore it didn't stop us is because human shields aren't effective to us. We don't take a moment to stop killing just because they're holding up a shield. So in the scenario Jovan gave earlier, he's shooting his grandma no matter what. And then lying and going, I'm not even sure that was my grandma. Was it my grandma? I don't know. We're still investigating whether or not I killed my grandma. Literally, I went to a high school that was closer to a military target than this school was. And he's going to sit here and act like America's the good guys. I'm going to read a couple more of Steve's comments. Being called a race, oh, we already did that. Racist is so much more worthless, a badge of honor. Prove good exists instead of acting like with blind religious faith that it does. It's really funny when people who have blind religious faith acknowledge that that's a bad thing, but then try to assign it to their opposition. Because the only way for Steve to think that point has any bearing, prove good exists instead of acting with blind religious faith that it does, is if he agrees that blind religious faith is bad. So now I only have to establish I have no blind religious faith at all. And I win. Because he's acknowledged that blind religious faith is bad. I think atheists should start teaching boys there's no proof that rape and murder is wrong and it's always just been a preference, except for that's not true. First of all, atheism, it'd be like asking a chef, based on being a chef, is rape and murder wrong? Based only on chef facts. Atheism has nothing to do with rape and murder or moral questions. You are once again mistaken. That would be secular humanism. So Steve, if you want to call back sometime when you can actually stay on topic and answer the questions that you are asked, we'll take you, but you are literally ignoring every question. And it's not interesting to me. You're just answering the question you want instead of the actual question. So you call back in when you are committed to staying on topic. In the meantime, I wish it was your birthday so I could tell you fuck your birthday. Go fuck yourself. We'll wait for Jovan to get back and then take this other Iran call. And this person isn't saying they wanted to talk to me specifically. So Jovan can, I'll actually be good this time. Watch, they are going to be like, actually, I was calling to only debate Jimmy. I don't actually know where Jovan went. Did he say so in the chat? Did he give you a heads up how long he's going to be gone, Luthien?
No.
Jovan! Does he yell his name? Ba, 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 ba. Did he text me? I don't think he texted me. No, let me text him. My last text from him was, happy birthday, old man. Hey, how long until you're back? Question mark. Need to know how much time to fill for these weirdos who are watching before taking the next call. Give us a heads up. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I know he didn't say anything to y'all. He didn't say shit. He just opened lap. He often will send us a message either in our joint Discord or a text to let us know. Let's go to the bathroom or something. Let's see. Are any of these quick in the meantime? Yeah, while he's doing that, I'll take this. We've got a couple of well, we have mostly debate calls, but we have this one that I guess is just a general question. We'll take this while we wait for him to come back. Eric in California. Eric, you are on the line with Jimmy at the moment. I don't know where Jovan's gone. Eric, how are you?
Sorry. Hi, how's it going?
It's going.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so this might be a little bit more contentious than the call screen might indicate, but I had kind of a question and I guess a statement about, so one thing that's always bugged me, and I called a little bit about this right after the election, and one thing that kind of stood out to me with the election results is how few votes the left had relative to the previous election. And it seemed like it would be a pretty straightforward win, if not, in my opinion, for the huge swath of one issue voters who didn't seem to understand that Kamala Harris had already stated she would have been, whether or not she actually would have been, but she at least had stated as much. And there was also Biden had also seemed to come around too on the Palestinian issue. And so I have a huge issue. So you said something, this is the contentious part. You said something a couple weeks ago that Kamala Harris lost the election because she refused to appeal more to progressives and far left-leaning voters.
I'm sorry, that isn't what I said.
Is it not?
No, in fact, what I said, maybe I said something that was interpreted that way, but more recently what I said was, we know she lost the election and we know she tried to appeal to the right. That doesn't mean, had she tried to appeal to the left, she would have won. However, I still wish she had tried to appeal to the left, because right now we know the strategy of appealing to the right loses. Anybody who assumes that a lot of people will do that with tons of different shit. Hey, if in this football game, I can't do a sports metaphor, I don't know sports. And then if in this football game we don't use this specific play a bunch, we're going to lose. And then when they lose, they go, we would have won if we would have just used that play. But you don't actually know that. What you know is that you lost with that strategy. And I know that I was advocating for a different strategy that I think would have had a better chance of winning. We don't actually know whether it would have succeeded. And I wish she hadn't done that. And I wish she had appealed to the left, especially if you are going to be a candidate that is exceptionally different than every other candidate. You are the first black woman running for president. I don't think then's the time to try and go the safe way. I think then is the time to go, I represent a radical move forward for this country, and therefore here are the aspects of that radical move forward. Instead, she presented a position of, I'm going to continue, let's just start calling him White Joe. I'm just going to continue White Joe as we know. And I don't think that that was a solid strategy. But I do not know that she lost because she moved to the right or tried to appeal to the right. Certainly, I don't know that she could have won if she had tried to appeal to the left. I suspect America is sexist and racist enough that it could be that no strategy would have won.
I would definitely agree. I would, however, can I say two, so I have a statement that's been kind of rattling around my head. It was something that, so I feel like one of the main reasons that Trump won and the reason that the right has been so successful, at least in recent years, is that there's just been this kind of air of solidarity, and if you can call it a cult personality, I guess, but that basically I think a lot about there's the Bertrand Russell quote about whether or not it's actually attributed to him, I'm not sure, but the Bertrand Russell quote about the whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are certain of themselves and wiser people full of doubt. And I wonder, So I would say that the people who are most responsible for Trump being elected, aside from his cronies, aside from the white nationalists, the Christian nationalists, would be the people like Hassan, people like Jon Stewart, and the like, who in every other sentence.
I just want to point out that Dave, really quick before we get into this, Dave, we have like comprehensive analyses on like why Harris lost. And the biggest thing was the shift of young voters to the right. So Hassan's not changing somebody, like specifically they show like how much people shift to the right from like Obama to Trump. And the biggest issue was Israel. Like the single issue that caused the most people not to vote for Harris was Israel. Right. That was the biggest issue.
But I would argue that the people
Harris could have avoided that
for Harris are the ones who didn't care enough about Palestine to actually vote for the better candidate, the one who actually said she would prefer a two-state solution, as opposed to the one who said dead babies is bad PR. Like, there should have been 100 million votes for Harris just based on that alone, if that's where the main issue was.
Right, so how did Hassan
Like,
stop her from getting 100 million? Because he failed to sensationalize
not
her.
him in particular, but just...
That's who you listed.
So what I would argue is that there is a huge kind of push towards centrism and like sowing doubt. So every other sentence, it's like, Republicans are awful, follow-up sentence, and so are the Democrats. Whereas I would say that, and I don't disagree necessarily, but I would also like to point out that not one of these people, including many people on the line, have seemed to point it out that, and I don't know if you would agree with me or not, but that's every single progressive change in this country has come at the hands of a Democrat in the last, 70 years.
So then the fault actually falls on
the follow-up sentence.
If we take up your argument, then the fault still doesn't become Jon Stewart and doesn't become Kamala Harris even herself per se. The fault, if we actually take facts into matter, falls on the DNC for not running a primary. Because true or false, Eric, in 2020, was the Bernie challenge to Biden an overall positive?
I'm not sure what the polls would have suggested, but I think so.
We're talking about to progressivism. As a result of Bernie getting so much of the vote and his sensationalist but true method of campaigning, did Biden end up moving to the left or to the right from where he was?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure. I think I missed. I didn't register the first part of that.
I'm just going to lay it out for you. Biden ran against Bernie. Bernie was winning, so they consolidated power so that the DNC could keep one of their guys in. However, as a result of that challenge, Bernie gives an endorsement after it becomes clear that Biden is going to head his way on issues. Then Biden is elected, and Biden has trans people in the cabinet, has a much more diverse cabinet in general, starts running on things like forgiving student loans, has interest in doing things for healthcare, but gets blocked essentially by Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, those fucking traitors, especially Sinema. Manchin, who no one expected more of. And so literally the progressive agenda actually got better because there was a loud, sensational challenge that said the Democrats are not good enough. The Democrats are serving the oligarchy. And then we got a Democrat who served the oligarchy, but also put Bernie in charge of the, Bernie becomes the head of the budget committee, the federal budget, and gets more committee and what are they called? Those special teams that the president puts together, gets more power than any progressive or arguably leftist. He's a little bit left of center in reality, but more pull toward leftism than ever. The Democrats did not run a primary when Biden was not the nominee. So there was no progressive challenge, and it was only the DNC sitting and going, let's not find out from our voters. Let's not have a primary so our voters can tell us what our winning strategy is. Let's vibe it out. And they vibed out that Liz Cheney was a better person to poll toward than Bernie or people like Bernie. And then started shitting on the left and started saying, like, you guys are going to make us lose. And then we go, well, in that case, meet our demands. If we're going to make you lose, meet our demands. And they go, well, no, that's not on the table. So you want to blame Hassan, you want to blame us, you want to blame people who are out there because the DNC is failing to give you a candidate. They are, in fact, telling you who you're going to vote for and just going, the vibe is he's better, she's better. And I told people she's better. I didn't disagree because I, for a living, actually evaluate this shit. But most people go to work, they get their kids to school, they do their shit every day, and they're just going, I'm struggling, and there are things that I'm seeing that are bad, and there wasn't a contest to highlight the differences, and not Trump isn't enough for me to feel like going and voting. The DNC is the person who is most at, for the group who are most at fault, not any of the people you listed.
I do. I mean, if it were up to me, I'd abolish the Senate, I'd abolish the Electoral College. I'm
not interested in any of that. I'm interested in that you wanted to blame us for our communication, for us bringing up when in fact it was the challenge of progressives saying, you guys are not doing this well. You are representing the oligarchy in 2016 that ultimately led to the progressive agenda progressing and Biden moving to the left and Biden winning by highlighting the actual differences between the candidates and by failing to deliver us a primary even more, because I don't think this is in that assessment. Jovan gave you very good data, and yet I still blame much more than that information that we didn't have a primary, because then we didn't get somebody on the stage next to Kamala Harris having that little girl was me moment that Kamala Harris had with Joe Biden that caused Joe Biden to make her the VP and move further to the left and highlight the issues with the candidate and give us a sense of choice, so that then when the primary is over, the progressive, the moderates, and the people who like the Democrats as they are could sit there and go, you know what, though? We had a contest. This person is now highlighted as more important because we also got out of that 2020 election people who are progressive but not leftist, like Pete Buttigieg, like Amy Klobuchar, people who are generally liked even by leftists as we go, but you also still suck. Okay? We get those people out of it. We got nothing like that out of the primary. It is 100% squarely on the DNC for not giving us a primary, period.
Do you think that the rhetorical strategy of the left in general, like whether or not you're talking about liberals or progressives, because it's a vastly different thing, but do you think in general that the rhetorical strategy of this is the point I brought up to Matt as well, and he said, like, so we should be a cult, basically, that we should be just headstrong and have complete solidarity regardless of crimes and whatever else. And my answer to that, I think I called like the day or two after the election, and my answer to that was,
dude, just ask your question. I don't care about what you and Matt did. Matt and I don't agree on a lot of stuff, so just answer the question, ask your question, and don't give me a recap of yours and Matt debate.
So do you think that the rhetorical strategy of always constantly sowing doubt and questioning and kind of and but this is great but kind of strategy is as effective as we're right, this is 100%.
I just need to point in, I don't do that as like a sowing doubt thing. I do it because I'm a communist and the Democrats are capitalist shills. I do it because the Democrats, when they're in power, sure, they might make Americans' lives slightly better, but they do it at the expense of the constant imperialist wars that they get into. Joe Biden, fun fact, has engaged in attacking other countries. Kamala Harris would have engaged in attacking other countries. So yeah, I can sit here and go, domestically, the Democrats would be a little bit better, while also recognizing that a bunch of trans people died when Joe Biden was president from lack of care, that black people are shot in the middle of the street, whether there's a Democrat or a Republican in office, right? So the person who's at fault for the Democrats losing is the Democrats running a shit campaign. It's not on an influencer for going, hey, don't you think the Democrats are also bad sometimes? Because if you can't have that conversation, we're not existing in a truth world. We're existing in a I don't know, a get on my knees and slurp the Democrats world. And I only get on my knees and slurp for like 3 people, and it's not the Democrats.
Yeah, Eric,
I'm all for that. I'm all for it.
Hang on, Eric. I'm gonna make it simple with a question that you can answer directly. Based on what Jovan just explained to you, are the Democrats more or less likely to come around on issues if we challenge them and make them work for our vote?
I mean, I think every poll suggests that progressive and far left-leaning policies are widely the most like.
No, that's not the question. That's not the question.
They get 60-70% on everything, so they would definitely they would definitely have more.
That's not even the question. That's not even the question. Let's say we don't even know whether it'd be a winning strategy or not. If we fall in line, will that make us get our goals more quickly or more slowly?
I see what you're saying, and I would say slowly. However, I would also argue that it's much more slowly with Trump being elected, and that the time to have those conversations is not necessarily the 2-3 months leading up to the election. That's what I take issue with.
This isn't
the rhetorical strategy.
Dude,
I was having these conversations when Biden got elected and told everyone he would be a one-term president. And then he wasn't a one-term president. He tried to run again, despite what he told the American people, which put Kamala Harris at a disadvantage because she had 4 months. If Kamala Harris had 2 years to run a campaign, she probably would have run a better campaign. And I read a bunch of her book. A bunch of the shit she wanted to talk about, if her book is to be believed, the DNC wouldn't let her talk about it.
Yeah. Like I said, it is the DNC. Eric, fundamentally, you're sitting here going like, well, and the time to not do it, but everybody you described as being a problem, The Line, Hassan, Jon Stewart, we're all talking about it before. All of them. Jon Stewart's probably a little bit left of Bernie, but I wouldn't necessarily call him a representative of leftism either. All of us were talking about it
on paper,
before.
But his program is very centrist.
I agree.
On paper, but especially leading up to the election, his program was extremely centrist.
This part's not important. All of us have been talking about it all along. Literally, I was talking about how it is a problem that Biden is going to be the nominee long before that debate happened, over a year before. And I called that we were going to lose based on when not general polling shifted, but when demographic polling started to shift in a bad direction. And I got called out by one of my quote unquote colleagues as an idiot for saying such things, and yet was correct. So at the end of the day, you're upset that like when we give them fair warning that these are the problems they have, and they go, we're just going to go ahead and ignore them, that we don't just sit there and go like, hey guys, let's just lie and pretend. Because that's what we would have had to have done. To meet the strategy you're describing, Eric, Jovan and I would have had to have lied and been like, hey, we said these were the problems, but let's get enthusiastic about it anyway. And yet I still enthusiastically campaigned for Kamala Harris and told people she is the lesser of two evils.
It's not like lying or saying anything in contrary. It's more about the percentages, I guess, is what I take issue with. Instead of being like 50-50, it should have been like 50% Republicans are bad, 10% Democrats are also bad, and 40%. Hey, also, if you don't vote Democrat, you will never see any type of better, like
I beat your percentages by fucking like crazy. That was such bullshit. What you just said is such. I and the line beat those percentages
but
like
I can definitely
fucking
say that
crazy. We were 100%, 95%. Republicans are bad. and we cannot afford another Supreme Court. I took so much fucking shit on this channel for telling people who called in and said, I have Iranian family, I'm not, or not Iranian, I have Palestinian family, I'm not voting for Harris, and told them they need to grow the fuck up and do it anyway. You don't got to sit there and be like, instead of this 50-50 thing, that's not what happened. 50% of your attention went to that other 5%. That does not mean 50% of what we were doing in campaigning was the way you just described. It was wall to wall. Republicans are bad, and there is no valid reason to abstain from voting for Kamala Harris, despite acknowledging her flaws.
I would attribute that less, I guess, to you. I would change the percentages a bit, but when I'm talking about somebody like Stewart or Hassan, I wouldn't even.
Hassan was live at the DNC. He was literally at the DNC telling people to vote for Democrats. Like, come on, dude. I'm not gonna I'm not on my knees for Hassan or anything like that. But this idea, like, why can't we have nuance in American politics? I just don't understand.
Who did Hassan just announce he's about to have a guest on his podcast?
I don't know. I haven't followed him in a few months, admittedly.
Bro, then you don't get an opinion because he literally, Jovan, do you know the answer to this question?
No, I don't.
What I'm saying is,
Hassan literally just announced. Eric, who do I say, since you're watching the channels and you have opinions about it, who do I say is almost definitely the Democratic nominee? If you had to call it today, the nominee's already chosen in 2024, or rather in 2028. Who do I say it is?
Was it Buttigieg? I can't remember.
No, it's Gavin Newsom.
100% going to be Newsom.
Hassan is literally about to have Gavin Newsom on. So Hassan is sitting there. I don't even like Hassan. He's fine. I kind of like him some days and I don't like him on other days. I fucking hate his fans, but I hate my fans. So, you know, it's all fair. Hassan is literally about to sit down with Gavin Newsom. And he's going to be allowed, Gavin, to go, here's why you guys should vote for me, even if I don't make it. Hopefully he's going to answer for, here's why I sold out trans people. Hopefully he's going to get an answer.
No, he got asked that question the other day, and he said, and he just deflected to, I've passed the most pro-trans legislation.
Right, which isn't going to be enough for Hassan. That is technically true. California for a trans adult is still one of the best states to be in, and would be better than. Yeah. But the question is then when it comes to a primary challenge, does he think that that's going to be enough for people? Because he still caused harm to trans people. So he's literally, the people you are complaining about are basically saying, DNC, we are begging you to just include us. And apparently you have to be as huge as Hassan to finally get it, which Hassan's also huge in California. So that might be why specifically Newsom is getting, even though the chorus people don't want people going on Hassan's show. I don't. It's one of those things too, and I don't like quoting him either, but Hassan said best, if we have this amount of power, how dare you not meet our demands?
We're talking about, like, I don't know, I can't remember the stats. Honestly, I've been mulling over a little bit, and some of the stats have gotten drowned out in my head a little bit, but I don't think we needed, more than a couple million votes to beat Trump if they were dispersed correctly. And I feel like just a couple million votes worth of people who were convinced by those on the left that there is no, that there is a
Why is the issue with the left and not all the racist white people who didn't vote for Harris simply because she was a black woman? Why are they not the ones that we have our anger?
I've been trying for years. I've been trying for years.
But then what's the point of, what's the point of arguing with us? Yeah, sure. If a couple more people on the left voted, absolutely. How about if like half of the voter base didn't vote for a fucking racist fascist? That should be what we care about more. The infighting doesn't do shit for us.
See, I'll answer that, Jovan, because I think that the people on the left are much more likely to listen to reason and to look up evidence and to figure that out than the people on the right. So if I had
we're more likely to meet the demands of the racists.
I mean,
that's what you're describing.
My single issue, my single gripe is the pro-Palestinian issue and how Harris literally came out and said that she would love to look for a two-state solution, how Biden had started to come around the White House, but none of this was like seemed to really sway enough of the voters where it should have. And you had so many people, huge percentage of the people who didn't come out to vote, who could have swayed the election easily had they.
Would you agree that the further on the scale that you move to the right, the larger your company of racists and bigots become?
Yeah, without a doubt.
So why did the DNC decide they were going to try and go after the larger population of racists and bigots instead of the leftists who delivered them 2020?
How would you say that they did that?
You already acknowledged it. They went the Liz Cheney way. They didn't have a primary, and then they tried to get Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney and other Republicans up on stage. She went up talking about how there's going to be Republicans in her cabinet. They literally tried to appeal, and you just said the more you move to the right, the more you move to larger populations of bigots and racists. So by your own acknowledgement, their calculus was make the progressives fall in line, expect them to, because they fell in line in 2020, even though we're not giving them the opportunity to challenge, and we're not showing that we're going to change to meet their challenge. We're going to instead of go with the larger population of racists and bigots.
But they didn't. I wouldn't argue that that's why that they lost the election, though. That would be my argument for why they lost.
How do you know? I already said that I don't know that
because
it's that we would have lost otherwise.
Because of the reason is because of how centrist.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something. So for real here, Kamala Harris as president wasn't getting a two-state Israel solution. Just wasn't gonna happen. She wasn't gonna get Israel to change their minds.
It may have been a populist opinion, but she said it at least.
I don't care if she said it. She wasn't getting Israel to end a 70-year-long apartheid state.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, she wasn't going to convince them. The only thing that will convince it, the only thing that will stop Israel is actual military action against Israel. And she wasn't going to take that up when half of the Senate and Congress are AIPAC supported. Wasn't going to happen.
I'm all for like cynicism about populism, but the same populism won Trump the vote. So if it can work for him, then why can't pro-Palestinian populism work for her?
So then you are saying we should just try and form a political cult. If you just want to use the rhetorical strategies of Donald Trump, we should just form a political cult.
And this is, that was Matt's issue, and I don't necessarily disagree, but I don't know what the more successful rhetorical strategy is, especially leading up to an election.
So if you had the perfect socialist, would you install him as a total authoritarian if you could? Because the authoritarianism in general is bad, but you have the good authoritarian, so it's better off? Because the answer is that only works for the level of the uncorrupt. In other words, you make the cult to get in the right person. Now you have the cult in place and somebody figures out how to operate the cult to get in the wrong person. And now we are the people who did the Trump thing.
I mean, this just strikes, but what's like intentions matter and the outcome matters. Like that's what I care about. Yes,
and future outcomes matter. If you create a cult apparatus and you adopt the rhetorical strategy, that's great if we have the right person. Your argument is Kamala Harris should have been the benefit of that cult. She is not the right person for that amount of unchallenged power in the first place. But you would still use that as the method to get Democrats elected, which is great until somebody corrupt like Kamala Harris gets that apparatus.
So then this kind of leads to my second part of the question that I asked her, that I said this call stringer. What would you say would have been the better?
Have a primary.
Yeah. So I guess you kind of already just the primary, bring people up who are going to give the more.
Jovan, would you have done something other than? I mean, if we're just going with how we would rewrite history, Biden would have kept his promise to be a one-term president in the first fucking place,
and there would have been
then we would have had a primary. What'd you say?
Yeah. No, that's the strategy. But not even just that. Not even just that. If all it takes is lip service, then sure, Kamala just has to say whatever the hell she wants. And then we're back to Democrats just telling us, hey, I think that abortion should be legal and we should have a legal right and Congress should vote on it. And then Obama gets elected and gets in charge. We don't have the time to worry about this. Let's focus on other things. Like, I can just have the Democrats continue to give me lips. Yes, but Republicans, I don't give a shit about. Obviously, Republicans are going to give lip service. If the Democrats want to position themselves as this morally better side, then I'm going to hold them to a higher standard when it comes to the fucking lip service. Otherwise, fuck them. If both sides are going to give me lip service, then guess what? I'm not going to vote. If I'm going to get fucked either way, why would I vote? But if we hold the Democrats to the standard of, you have to fucking actually try, then maybe they'll actually try.
Don't you feel like the Bernie endorsement in 2020 had more power because it came after the challenge than it did in 2024 with no challenge, Eric?
No, yeah. I'm just, my mind is racing right now, like how to get past populism.
You've got a lot to think about because you had a lot of fundamental misunderstandings of, you're making claims about. Just go back and watch the call because I feel like we've showed you several ways that your position was not right. Before you go, Jovan, I'm wondering if you agreed with the statement because I forgot to ask you too. Do you also agree with the statement that the more you move to the right, the larger your company of racists and bigots become?
100%.
Okay. All right, Eric, that's all I got for you.
Can I?
Go ahead very quickly. This is your final thoughts. Go back and watch the thing back. Final thought.
If at all possible, if Jovan could give me because I'm really interested what he has to say about it. Give me like a 30-second. I'll hop off right now. Give me like a 30-second answer to like what does a voter base do to look past the populism of their politicians? Like how is that possible? Like how do you get around just saying shit, basically? Like, and then I'll hop off. Thanks for the call, guys.
Okay, thanks, Eric.
How does the voter base get around? How does the voter base get around the just lip service that their party does?
I feel like we already answered it.
I also don't know that that's possible in capitalism.
Right. And with it, I don't know.
Like they're going to say whatever they have to, so that they can. The only way to do it is to only vote in grassroots. But it's like what you said, Jimmy. If there was a primary, and they actually allowed us to vote on the positions, then they would see these are the positions our base is going to vote for. So instead it's just Kamala being told from every angle what to say and when to say it.
Right. Literally, we just had it here in Texas. I voted for, there are going to be people who argue again, call in. I'm happy to have this argument. You are wrong, though. Jasmine Crockett is to the left, only slightly, of James Tallarico. Jasmine Crockett isn't my ideal candidate, but she was the best one. We had a shot of having a Medicare for All candidate on the ticket in the Senate. And I voted for her because I'm not going to make the black woman the person I change my rule about endorsing whoever the Medicare for All candidate is. And she's Medicare for All. Tallarico's public option. Tallarico won. That challenge existed. And because that challenge existed and it wasn't just handed to him and it wasn't through shitty cheating or whatever, I will now, at least not by the left, the Republicans tried to do some cheating in the primary that might have helped Tallarico. It's hard to say. I will now enthusiastically be supporting Tallarico, who is fundamentally still a capitalist and not who I would have picked in a million years if I'm picking the senator. The challenge makes a huge difference. It just does. Anyway, I think you'll like this one. I think you'll like this guy. He called earlier too. Brian in New York. Brian in New York, you're on the line with Jimmy and Jovan. Hey, Brian, first things first, how old are you?
I'm 44.
44 years old. And Brian, we got about 2,000 people watching live and in the live chat. First, we'd ask you to ignore the live chat, but do let them know, would you prefer when they're using a pronoun, they refer to you as a he, a she, a they, or something else?
I don't care.
Legitimately, you don't care? They're fine with any of those pronouns, or you would actually prefer one? Like if they called.
I mean,
all right, cool.
I don't know who any of them are. They don't mean anything to me, so I don't care.
Sure, that's not how polite. That's not how polite conversation works. But if you say you don't care, I'll take your word for it, Brian.
I don't think
all good.
I don't think they would respect it regardless. So
if you say, Brian, if you say you would prefer he, him pronouns, our audience are a bunch of woke freaks. They'll definitely call you whichever pronoun you choose.
I mean, I'm not into like, attacking anybody or calling anyone any woke freak or any name. So like, I don't care.
Oh man,
Whatever.
That's a bunch of woke freaks. I tell you. Unfortunately, I'm one of them.
Right.
That's cool, Brian. I'm not at all gender fluid. So I am a cisgen. I'm not trans. I'm a man. And I very much prefer to be called he, him. I find it emasculating if people use different ones. So that's why I go with he, him.
Whatever. Okay, sure. All right.
Cool. All right. Well, if they don't matter to you, yeah, they'll just use whatever they want. That's fine. All right, Brian, what point would you want to make here?
Well, you were saying that like basically everyone on the right is you're associated with racists and et cetera. And, I live in New York City. I've been here 25 years. I come from a very small town in central New York. My family is very conservative. Everybody's on the right. The city kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things. What I can say is that you see racism on both sides. Like I don't think one party has like a monopoly on racism. Or
no, Brian, nobody made the claim that only one party has racist. The exact phrase I said was, the more you move to the right, excuse me, let me finish, Brian. The more you move to the right, the larger your company of racists and bigots become. I'm a leftist. I believe I'm surrounded by racist leftists also.
Right. Well, what you're saying is, which means that there are more racists on the right, the farther you...
Correct.
And can you understand that this country is full of people of varying ideologies and beliefs? I mean...
And mostly racist.
There's a lot... I don't think this country is mostly racist. I don't think this country is mostly racist. I think that's the problem.
It is. Yeah, but it is, though.
I think that's... Well, I guess that's where we're going to disagree. I mean...
Sure.
I haven't seen it in my life. Any of my
Brian,
friends' lives.
Do you happen to be white?
I'm a white guy, but I don't have just white friends.
Could that explain to you why you haven't seen it in your life? Is because you may happen to be a white man?
I think that you can be white and you can still see racism. I think that's I think that's.
Do you think it might be worrisome that you've never seen racism?
No, I'm not saying I haven't seen it. I'm saying that it is not the level that you make it out. Like this country, it's not about racism. This country is about ideas, right? Wouldn't you believe that? I mean, we have more freedoms than a lot of other places, don't you think?
No.
Or am I crazy? We're not free. We're not free to talk about this on this show on YouTube right now. We're not.
Hey, Brian,
we can be free to talk about racism, but that doesn't make it go away, right? I'm
not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying I don't think that it is as prevalent in the minds of the average citizens as maybe you guys think.
Brian,
which country?
I mean, wait, real quick, Brian. I think hold on, Brian.
Every generation, let me just finish this point.
Brian,
can I please?
I don't need you to tell me the same thing white people have been telling me for like 15 years. Listen, I have conversations. Okay. I have conversations every day,
right,
with people who were voting, with people who are voting for Donald Trump. You don't have as many as I do, with as many different people as I do, every single day.
I don't.
Hundreds.
Okay.
Brian, I've had Brian, I've had conversations with thousands of people. It's my job
the fact
to
that
literally
your
talk.
Somehow means that you have an authority on.
There you go. No, there you go, Brian. You're racist too. Thank you for proving it. God, that was fucking.
You literally, apropos of nothing, just invoked Jovan's. You just invoked
Jovan's race. I wasn't mentioning me
race.
being black on anything. You fucking moron.
Right, Jovan's literally never made this about the fact that he's black, and you just brought it up out of nowhere. Why do you think you did that?
I did that because he said he diminished me because I'm white. told me to shut up and listen to him.
That
Doesn't
isn't
shut
what,
up because I'm the host of the
finish.
because I'm one of the hosts of the show. You fucking jabroni.
Well, okay. That's fair. I mean, you can call names all you want.
God damn.
I've actually tried
You
to
expect
call
that from what, my people?
Just hang up.
You expect that from my people? You expect us to call you names?
No, I expect it from this show because I've seen it many times. And, you know, you talk about eating ass and all these other.
Talking about
listen,
what?
I have no desire to like.
I just called my
anybody.
audience a bunch of woke freaks, and he's worried about what I might call somebody else.
I was like, I didn't call anybody woke freak.
No, I did.
All I was trying to say is that I don't think anybody cares. That's all I'm saying. I think the hard left cares so much about race. I just don't think the rest of the world gives a fuck.
I think all the people suffering from systemic racism tend to care.
You know?
But fuck them, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you just proved you were racist because, or that you support racism. Because the problem is, hang on, Brian. I'm going to explain. The problem is that you. Please. Great, God Brian. I'm doing it right now. Stop saying, tell me how I'm racist. Brian, you just acknowledged that you don't think anybody cares, that nobody's thinking about it. We can prove with stats, with studies, we can prove systemic racism exists. And if you live in a country where systemic racism exists,
explain one to me?
Excuse me, Brian, I'm not fucking done. Now I'm going to tell you, shut up, whitey.
Okay.
And I'm white.
Okay.
Brian? Brian, shh. Be quiet now.
Okay.
If you do not care about race in America, but systemic racism exists and we can prove it, that means you're not doing anything to end it. And if you are white, you're not doing anything to end it while you benefit from it. Mm-hmm. Therefore, racist.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you know anything about my life at all?
Holy shit.
Yeah, everything you've said on this call.
I'm just saying.
Everything you've said on this call, so you bring up the blackness of my co-host apropos of nothing. That's not a very good sign.
Well, because
he's about to tell us how he marched with Martin Luther. He marched with Martin Luther King down in Selma, Alabama. He helped. He fought next to the segregation. The segregationists. He said, "Listen here. We're closed-minded." Wait, Brian. Yes or no? Does systemic racism exist? Yes or no? Brian, yes or no? Does systemic racism exist?
I think racism exists. I think
but we're the closed-minded ones. Fuck off.
What's the difference between racism and systemic racism? Brian, I'm realizing that you're a white yokel, so you might just be dumb.
Racism,
what is systemic racism versus racism? Yeah, you're just a white yokel, so it might be your dumbness that's...
Systemic racism means it's in the system. Means there's laws that
do you know what I love? I love definitions that contain the word. What does it mean that it's in the system?
I'm so dumb. Okay.
When we describe systemic racism, what are we saying? Give us an example, for example, that we would say.
What are you saying? Like some white cop's feelings about how he did something to someone? Listen, I'm not here to argue with you guys, okay? I was here to have a conversation.
That's weird. It's a debate show.
You don't know fuck all about me. I'm just saying, well, I was here to have a conversation.
No, that's not true. Excuse me. It's not true that I don't know fuck all about you.
You consider debate and argument.
Excuse me, Brian.
Okay? You consider a debate and argument.
No shit. Hold on, Jimmy. No shit. I consider a debate and argument. Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy. Do you mind if I just quickly read the definition of debate?
We know everything.
Do you mind if I just really quickly read the definition of debate?
Will you do me a favor and eat my ass, please? Why don't you just calm down?
I don't eat the asses. I don't eat the ass of men. Debate, verb, to argue about a subject, especially in a formal manner. Holy shit, did you know that we were having an argument?
That?
I would have never guessed.
Brian, I prefer dark meat.
That? Okay, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
What's the definition of a debate?
It's your life.
Hey, Brian, what's the definition of a debate?
Listen, if you want to talk about something real, I'm not going to sit here and define it.
You don't want to talk about anything real, Brian, because the minute I tried to talk about something real, you got all pissy and said, well, because you're black, you can talk. No, I can eat my ass, Brian.
What did you, I mean, I don't think that's how it went down, but okay.
I mean, I can replay the tape. The tape, but if I have to replay the tape, you owe me a $20. You realize if I replay this tape, you owe me a $20 waste my time tax. You recognize that.
Okay.
You will owe me a $20 waste my time tax because you will have wasted
And
my
you got
time.
it.
So you are agreeing
All
right now that when I play this tape back and it goes from me trying to explain to you that through my job, I talk to Trump supporters on the daily and have heard their objections, and it's just going to be you going, oh, but you're black, so because you're black, you got all the. You realize that's what's going to happen. You will then pay me $20, correct?
But what did you say before that though? You
What did I say
called into
before
question
that?
my race. You called into question my race before that.
No, I asked if you were white, and then said as a white person,
said that I
do you
didn't have.
think you fucking idiot. I said, as a white person, do you think there might be a reason why you don't have as much life experience dealing with systemic racism as, I don't know, somebody who's not white? And you got pissy about that because guess what? White people. No, I'm so sick of this shit. I don't give a fuck that Black History Month's over. I'm so sick of white nonsense.
I have a 5-year-old son with a woman from Brazil.
Eat shit. You're muted. Eat shit. You're muted. I don't give a fuck about you tokenizing your son. You fucking weirdo. I am so sick. I am so sick of white people thinking that me questioning their like fucking vision of the world is some insult to them. That now, oh, because I mentioned that you have white skin, so you might have a limited understanding of the way the world works for people that aren't you, that, oh my God, it's the worst thing he could have said. Meanwhile, my people get shot in the goddamn street. But no, me telling you that you're white, that's the worst fucking shit. That right there is the worst shit you can fucking say to somebody. Fucking eat shit.
Yeah, Brian.
I'm sorry,
Brian. No, I loved it. Brian, just so you know, it doesn't make you not racist because you're willing to come in a hot, well, I don't know if she was hot, a Brazilian. They often are. It's weird. I know what I just said's a little racist, but have you noticed how the men and women in Brazil are often so hot? Okay, anyway, where you're willing to come does not describe your racism. So, Brian, when I bring you back on, I'm just going to ask, the question you're going to answer is, if you lived in a country where racism did exist, would the race that racism is, what's the word? The racism happens to notice it more than the people benefiting from the racism? To put simply, if a country, not our country, if there was a country with only white and black people and there was racism toward black people, would black people notice the racism more than the white people? Yes or no, Brian?
Yeah, obviously.
So is it a valid question if a white person says, not here, in that country, if a white person says to that black person, excuse me, Brian, Brian, I'm not saying it again. I'm not saying it again. I'm going to mute you now. I'm not saying it again. I'm asking you a different question. If in that country, not America, where racism is happening to black people, and a white person says to the black person, I don't see racism, is it a legitimate question for the black person to ask, not accuse, ask, could it be that your experience as a white person does not put it in front of you as much as it puts it in front of me? Now you're unmuted, Brian. Is that a legitimate question?
Yes.
So was Jovan's question to you a legitimate question?
No, because he misconstrued what I said.
No, he didn't. He didn't misconstrue. He said racism
doesn't exist. I never said it doesn't exist.
Great. Now I'm going to mute Brian again because he's once again misrepresenting. No one said you said no racism exists at all. You did say that we said, in response to right-wing people have a higher concentration of racists. You brought up that you're from New York. Guess what? So are both of the people you are talking to. And that you live around a bunch of conservatives in New York. Guess what? So did I. My family, very conservative. And that as a result, you don't see the racism in that group. And that it isn't more than other groups. In fact, when you brought up it exists in all places, I believe both of us, but I know I told you, obviously, I'm a leftist, often surrounded by racist leftists. It was about concentrations. So Jovan asked you whether or not your perception might be changed by the fact that you are white, and in this example, the group who benefits from the racism that happens is that he didn't even bring up that he's black. He just asked whether or not your perception could be jaded by the fact you are white. That is what happened. And by the way, the answer is yes, because I grew up a conservative white person from New York, didn't even realize the way in which I was raised, how weird it was that I was allowed to watch The Cosby Show, but not Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because we basically had a standard of assimilated black shows are okay, but non-assimilated black shows are not. Which that white people thought Fresh Prince wasn't an assimilated black show is
also,
crazy.
I love that your parents are like, yeah, you can watch The Rapist, but not The Hoodlum.
Right. That is, guys, people move. I thought you said you were from Wyoming for some shit. Yes, I went to high school in Cheyenne. I don't know where home is. We moved out so much, but home for my family, it's where my father's from. It's where my mother immigrated to. Everybody's from New York. Brian, that is what actually happened, and you are melting down because you have to acknowledge that you might have a blind spot that comes from the way you want to see yourself and the people around you. So, Brian, I would like to ask you, since you are not a racist, and being not a racist is more than just not disliking black people or being willing to come in a beautiful Brazilian, what specific law or policy that you are aware of that you know is racist did you participate in attempting to end?
You guys are exhausting.
Can you not answer that question? Is there no example?
Well, I obviously don't have any control over what laws are passed or not, unless I vote in local elections, which I do. Typically,
you can
I
also
vote
be an
Democrat
activist.
or local
So which
elections.
law did you vote? So which racist law did you vote to repeal?
I'm not an activist, honestly.
Okay, you said you can only vote. So you're just a quiet not racist is what you're saying. Which racist law did you vote to repeal?
Why does it make me a racist just to say that, all I was trying to say is that each group of people sees the world through their own lens, I'm not going to
right, and your white lens doesn't see the racism that's surrounding you that you're not helping to end.
I'm sure, I'm 100% sure that there is a bunch of things that I have overlooked, but I'm also sure that there's things that have been kind of made into things that they aren't. We're all human beings. It comes down to the fact that it doesn't fucking matter if you're gay or you're fucking black or
I'll remember to tell Breonna Taylor that it didn't matter. I'll remember to tell Tamir Rice that it didn't matter. I'll remember to tell Ahmaud Arbery that it didn't matter. I'll remember to tell Trayvon Martin that it just didn't matter. Didn't matter. Come on, guys. Don't you know that your race, it didn't matter? Ooh,
but don't you
where
think
would we
that
be?
a lot of those are kind of convenient?
A lot of them are convenient. Sure, yeah.
You don't want to hear what I want to say. You don't want to hear anything that I want to say.
No, you only want to. No, the fucking issue,
fine.
Brian, is you only want to hear yourself talk.
You're going to call me a racist.
You don't give a fuck.
No, I
don't. You don't give a shit about the shit that we're saying. No, because listen, I'm so fucking sick of this shit.
You guys have muted me
You're
multiple
not taking
times.
in. You're not taking in any of the fucking shit we're saying. And then I just mentioned a bunch of black people who were killed as a direct result of systemic racism inside of our criminal justice system. And your fucking answer is how convenient. Brian,
how was Trayvon Martin killed from systemic racism? He was killed by a Hispanic guy.
There's no
who
fucking
didn't
shot.
have a clue what he was doing.
There's no shot.
Florida.
There's no shot. There's no shot, bro.
I'll be the one to mute him again. It's funny how he was trying to beat the charges about.
My God.
Jovan said you just want to hear yourself talk. He goes, "Nuh-uh, you guys keep muting. We keep muting because you keep trying to talk over us." It's also funny because you said earlier you know the difference between systemic racism and just racism, and yet you think that racism is defined as only when white people do direct things to black people, clearly racist. The idea that somebody who knows the difference between racism and systemic racism, actually, by the way, you can also just know what racism is, because it's not as though we don't have very racist toward black people, Hispanic populations in parts of America. But to ask the question, how was Trayvon Martin killed by systemic racism if his killer was Hispanic, is crazy. That's like, I don't know how that could be sillier. And then the fact that a country that you say you know what systemic racism is also then did not serve justice to his killer, to the point that that Hispanic man sold the gun for a lot of money that killed Trayvon Martin.
Not Jimmy. It was just convenient. You didn't know that? You didn't know it was just convenient?
Isn't that a pretty convenient thing? The fact that you say black people are being killed and you have a list of them, isn't that just convenient? Brian?
It's just convenient, guys.
I might suggest you... Oh, Brian's hung up. Brian, do call back eventually. After you've gone to the doctor.
No, go to therapy first, goddamn.
Therapy too, but you got to go to the doctor. I see now why you suggested you have a gender fluidity to you. Your hormones are out of whack. Go to the doctor, get your hormones checked, get them fixed, take care of your hormones, figure out your gender identity, live that truth, and then call back, because there's a whole crazy thing going on in your head and you can't seem to control yourself by your hormones.
Hormones are my favorite thing to listen to.
I get it. All right, we got to cap calls because we've only got 34 minutes left and a few calls here. Oh, no, Brian, I said call back after you get your hormones checked. Calls right back after screaming and rage quitting. Lucien in Texas.
Why?
Because it can be fast.
You haven't been embarrassed enough,
I'm back
Lucien.
again.
You legitimately haven't been embarrassed enough.
I've talked to Jovan like 6 times.
How old are you, Lucien?
Love Jovan. I'm 18.
Lucien has a fucking shame kink. It has to be at this point.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What's your question,
can I just ask
Lucien? At 6:30, I'm hanging up, so you got to ask it quick.
Okay, so like, what's y'all's definitions of trans rights?
Should we use subjective definitions, or should we use? And why are you asking two cisgender men? You have the option to ask trans people on this channel and the line.
I don't know who's trans.
I don't support trans rights. I support trans wrongs. Be gay, do crime. Every trans person should commit bank fraud.
Just one time. I mean, I support equal rights. Like, do you support like?
Sure, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Pursuit of happiness includes mental health care and physical health care. Doctors have established what the type of care is. Politicians with no medical or scientific background are saying they don't get those rights. I think that's wrong.
Oh, so like being able to transition.
That is among them, but there are trans people who don't want to transition.
Oh, yeah, then I don't.
In fact, Lucien, technically, the rights would be a right you have too. So, for example, the right to an abortion. Did you know, Lucien, that you? Did you know that you, Lucien?
I don't believe.
Right, but did you know that I believe in that right, and I believe you deserve the right to an abortion, also, Lucien. If you are ever pregnant, regardless of whether you are capable.
God, if only Lucien's mom engaged in that, right?
Puerto Rico is also a racist. So why do you want to vote for a racist?
He's white, so I would assume he is. Just like I assume almost every white person is racist.
What Jovan literally does a show every Sunday with a racist.
What an amazing gotcha.
Hey, Lucien. Donald Trump is a racist and a rapist. Why do you want to vote for him?
I won't vote for him. I won't vote for him.
Do you like Donald Trump?
No, not particularly.
Who do you want to vote for?
Probably some independent. I won't vote libertarian or
Mark
green.
he's purposefully avoiding actually engaging. So I'll just try it this way to show him what he did with his question. Hey, Lucian, have you stopped beating your girlfriend?
My girlfriend is not beaten.
Lucian, have you stopped beating your girlfriend?
My girlfriend is not beaten.
That's not the question. The answer is yes or no. Lucian, have you stopped beating your girlfriend?
I will use my Fifth Amendment right.
So are you saying you don't want to engage a bad faith question? Also, that's
yeah, I don't want to engage a bad faith
right.
question.
So if you ask the question, if you say Tallarico is a racist, why do you want to vote for a racist? Is that a good faith question? Or are you demanding we acknowledge and accept the premise and whatever weight you're putting with it and answer as though your question already represents all the nuance necessary? Would you say you asked a good faith or a bad faith question?
Racist. So why are you voting?
Hey, Lucian, you're now not acknowledging what I just said. Lucian, when are you going to stop raping the old ladies in your neighborhood?
Okay, I get my question was a little bad.
All right, well, that's all the time we had for Lucian because it is 6:30. Lucian, please stop raping the old women in your neighborhood. All right.
That's crazy.
On to the fucking next. Michael in Indiana.
My fuse. My fuse is short right now, so I'm fucking firing off the hip at everybody.
I'm surprised because I like the game more. But both of us are content to just play Pokopia.
Oh my God. Why didn't we just do that? We just should have joined each other's islands, and today should have just been a fucking Pokopia stream. It would have been more enjoyable than this fucking bullshit. We could have debated
wall pike Pokoping. To tell you
what do you think I've been doing?
I was going to say, this game is so like just tickles that part of the brain that it doesn't really require a full pause to debate.
Plus it's on my Switch, so it doesn't take up any computer resources. So it's a super easy background game.
I got mine on the capture card on the monitor. You remember the monitor off to the left? Yeah, I got that in my little 8-bit do computer. 8-bit do, I'm sure it's called 8-bit do. All right. Michael in Indiana is a conservative, wants to talk about Iran. Michael, first things first, how old are you?
Man, 46, but after the last 3 calls, I don't know if I want to touch Iran. I want to have a different conversation. Holy shit.
We can do that. Do you still stand by? Who'd you vote for in the last 3 elections, actually? Let's get the intros out.
So the last election, I didn't vote. I did not vote.
What about the 2 prior?
And the 2 prior. The 2 prior, I was away, and not in jail. I was away for 2016 and 2020. I voted for Trump.
Okay, you do know if you say not in jail and nobody's brought up jail, we now both wonder if you were in jail.
It's the only reason
it wasn't jail. I was actually away for work, and it's a shit excuse, but I didn't take care of business. I'm just going to own it. I didn't take care of business. I didn't absentee vote. And
I just want to show you, Michael, though. Last week, I wasn't able to do the show. I wasn't doing cocaine. And that day, don't you immediately assume I was doing cocaine?
No, because you guys have been giving it, and rightfully so, to these fucking idiots that have been calling in, and pardon my language, but I figured you were going to group me in, so I had to throw that in. But no, I didn't take care of business, and I didn't ask if you vote. And I understand that qualifying that I wasn't in jail was probably dumb, but I've actually first time even seeing your. Go ahead.
That's cool. Well, I just want to finish up the intro. We got 2,000 people watching live. They want to know whether to refer to you as a he, she, or they in the chat. What would you prefer?
I'm a he.
All right, cool, sweet. All right, Michael. Yep. Then you said you don't really want to talk on Iran. That's fine. We're probably tired of it too, because I think everybody's figuring out that everybody agrees Islamic Republic evil, Ayatollah evil. What it's about now is whether we should be at war, whether war is the way to liberate, whether we're even trying to liberate, or if we're trying to serve the interest of billionaires. Our position is nobody in the administration.
Israel.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We're serving the interest of Israel. That's what we're doing.
To be clear. And so that's where the argument lies. We've covered enough of that. Is there something else?
Wait, hold on, just real quick.
Yeah.
Why do you not like Israel, though?
That's a good question.
You know, I got to be careful because, like, I'm on and I have a job, and you know, I'm going to be labeled an anti-Semite, but I'm just tired of being their bitch. I think that they're a fucking terroristic organization masked as a sovereign nation, and I'm tired of America. I'm tired of America paying the foot for people that wouldn't piss on us if we were on fire.
But how do you otherwise feel about
my
Jews?
honest take. I don't hate Jews. Okay,
Okay,
I
cool.
just don't like Israel. I don't like Israel. And
I just like to make sure that when people don't like Israel, I like to find out the why, because I always worry, like, I don't like Israel because they're an apartheid state. Some people are like, well, I don't like Israel because they're Jewish. So I like to be sure.
Right.
No, man. I just geopolitically, you can go back to the, I'll keep this short and sweet. I think the evidence speaks for itself, and when you're kicked out of I don't know how many countries, it's like if I go to 20 bars and I'm kicked out of every bar, it might be my fault.
Now we're getting back to the other side. We're kind of getting back to the other problem here. Who was kicked out of the countries?
Well, when I'm saying this analogy, I'm talking about Israel in general. Israel doesn't have a good relationship
who was kicked out of
with a lot of people. Again, using the analogy, I'm using Israel as basically you've been the cool kid, you've been okay, and now all these people don't fuck with you. And it's when you look at it like that, you gotta wonder: is it because you're an asshole, or is it because maybe everybody else is an asshole? And I think Israel as a state has been an asshole.
Sure. I mean, pretty much everybody's assholes, but more I want to get back to could you name one of the countries you were referring to them being kicked out of?
Well, I think, when I say kicked out of, again, using an analogy, when I talked about a bar, okay? What I'm saying is, France used to rock with Israel, not so much anymore. You could go down the line in Europe. A lot of those places have, they don't agree with some of the tactics that Israel.
Where in Europe specifically? Taken. Like Eastern Europe,
I would say,
perhaps.
Eastern, absolutely. Well, if you look at France, I don't think Italy's a big supporter. If you go throughout the boot and go up, you don't see a lot of African nations having support. I mean, that's a different continent, but You don't see, you just seen a lot of people that have went. So just to give you my background, I used to be a real big Christian guy. I used to dumbly think that I had to support Israel, the state, because the Bible says that we have to support the Jews, right? And I noticed that was just a scam. That was something that I was indoctrinated with through billionaires that obviously have interest over there in media here in America.
Though?
Yeah, I support Jewish people. I support Muslim people. I don't support
I'm
Israel.
very cautiously optimistic. I think I have reason to worry, but I think we can also proceed granting you a little bit of good faith. I admit myself skeptical.
Well,
there were some things you said that I was like, oh, hell yeah. And then there were some things you said where I was like, kicked out of countries is wild.
No, well, again, using the, and that was probably a poor analogy, okay? Using the kicked out of bars analogy. You've been in the club as the Israel state, and
see, I don't
who
love
has
club.
Israel's back right now?
Yeah,
you've been in the club, like you've been in the United Nations. You've been.
What topic do you want to talk on? Because I don't think figuring out whether it's anti-Zionism versus anti-Semitism. I think we could do this all day, and we've got limited time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
we're saying we're going to give you good faith that it's anti-Zionism, which is tight for us.
I wanted to talk about. You guys had a couple callers back, that the California kid, and I think he's really off. So just to preface my thought process here, so you guys understand where I'm coming from. I kind of grew up. I grew up poor. Okay, we were on food stamps. We didn't vote Republican. We weren't conservative. Okay, we were very much Democrat. I was one kid in the neighborhood I was like one of the only white kids in my neighborhood. We were poor. We didn't look at the rich. The rich people were conservatives and the poor people were Democrats because the rich were for the rich and the poor were for the poor. And as I got older, I'll tell you what really did it for me, which really made me, and I kind of vote, so you guys understand, I'm all over the place, but I vote with the middle finger now because we get to the point where I'm getting into politics in my life because right now I'm 46. So you got to think of the time that Hillary ran against Barack, and then Barack came. I was cool with Barack. I rocked with him. Everything was good. We go towards the next election, and I was thinking Bernie all the freaking way, and I watched what the DNC did, and then I watched them turn around and kowtow and fucking support them, and then I thought, you're a cuck. I have zero respect for you, and fuck the Democrat Party. And now every single time I vote, I'm literally going to give you the middle finger every single time, and that's kind of where I'm at. And I guess talk me out of the ledge or tell me I'm stupid, but just so disenfranchised with how the DNC did when those emails got leaked and how basically we haven't had a real primary from the Democrat Party since Hillary and Barack were the two standing and Barack beat her. We haven't had one on the left.
What is a real primary? What makes a, well, first of all, the Democrats aren't on the left.
A real primary,
to be clear,
is when the RNC/DNC doesn't pick the winner in the beginning. That's a real primary where the people.
Okay, then we've not had one of those because Hillary was chosen by the DNC in 2008. It's just that Barack Obama overcame that.
I understand that, but what I'm getting at is they put their person in power after that. Bernie should have ran against Trump the first time around, and
I agree.
That would have came out a lot differently.
When he lost, why did he fundamentally lose? Do you know?
When you say he, you're talking about Bernie?
Bernie. Why did Bernie fundamentally lose to Biden?
I think that Bernie fundamentally lost to Biden because the DNC wanted Biden. Biden was their guy, and they got behind him with the dollars.
Sure.
And they said, "There's no fucking way we're going to have Bernie win."
We're talking fundamentally.
It was rigged.
We're talking fundamentally. You're kind of talking more about opinions. As far as rigged goes, yeah, you could say that to some degree in the same way that it is rigged. If a Republican successfully gets on the DNC ballot, it's rigged against them too. Fundamentally, Bernie got fewer votes in the primary and lost more states than Biden did. Now, that looked like it might not happen. Hang on, I'm going to get there. It looked like it might not happen because at the time the field was very big. The field was going to consolidate at some point. So the problem we basically have here is a timing issue. The timing of the consolidation of that field happened earlier in a way that disadvantaged Bernie. Had that consolidation happened later, had Buttigieg and Harris and Tulsi and everybody else who was gone later, Bernie would have had a better chance. So the DNC basically said, if we consolidate now, we get a Democrat in. If we consolidate later, we essentially get a person who is not our party in. So let's encourage people to consolidate now and appeal to those candidates that they would prefer. Somebody who is more aligned with them than Bernie. Hang on, I'm almost up, Michael. Fundamentally, what they did is not actually cheating. The scummier things with like the email leaks and all that kind of shit, none of that is technically cheating. However, I hated it anyway because my guy lost. I primaried for Bernie. It showed off how powerful that money and that power is and showed more problems with the system. But as far as within the system as it exists, all they did was play politics, and you can't honestly hold that much against them. When it comes to what you should hold against the DNC, them making sure a Democrat got their nomination ain't really the one I'd be going so hard at.
Well, here's why my thought process. Everything you're saying is dead on.
Brian, real quick hold on, Michael, before you can, I just want to say, because before we get too far away from it, the stance of, I hated what you did to this guy, so I'm going to vote against it, even if the policies I'm voting for are going to royally fuck over me and like everybody else's life. I think it's just an absolute terrible lukewarm take. Just FYI.
Yeah, that does suck.
Well, and here's why, and I feel that. I feel why you feel that, but I'm going to get to that. So as I go through and I see this, just my perspective, and again, talk me off the ledge, I guess. But as I get through this perspective and I want to give the middle finger, everything you're saying is right. And I look, you know what? The party has shifted, man. The party has shifted, and the powers that be in the corporate interests will not allow it to happen. So we just keep blindly saying, let's give our vote to blue. Let's give our vote to blue. Let's give our vote to blue. And the blue is the blue is purple. The blue is.
I think there's a fundamental difference. Wait. I think there's a huge difference between let's just blindly vote for the Democrats and let's strategically vote for the Democrats. I think those are just two different things.
Hey, let me ask you this, Brian. Brian, you and I agree that we have to fundamentally reform the system, a political revolution, as it were, and that the two-party system is failing us. Has the election of Donald Trump brought us closer or further from that goal?
Are you asking him or me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
You said Brian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I apologize, Michael.
No, you're good. That's why I kind of shut up. I think in the context of you asking that, I don't think it's gotten it any closer. But I don't think a blue guy, quote unquote guy, could have been a gal, a blue guy or gal, a Democrat would have made the difference anyway. I think that Brian, we would have filtered more.
Michael, let me explain to you why you said talk you off the ledge. That's your craziest take so far. So first things first, the thing that I think you're missing and the big difference between us is you still exist in this world where the Democrats are the left and the Republicans are the right. And that's not true. You're getting closer when you're saying you feel like the Democrats are more purple. The Democrats aren't purple. They're red in the American regard, not in the socialism regard, because socialism's red. In the American regard, they're red. So earlier you said the Democrats were for the poor and the Republicans were for the rich. That's incorrect. Also, they're both for the rich. The actual left would be the people who are for the laborers, the people who are working, the people who are building companies and countries, the people who are putting the actual work in. That's why you liked Bernie, because that's who Bernie was for. He was for the people, whereas Biden wasn't. So anytime that you are going to vote, if that truly is what your values are, right now you have to vote for what gets us closer to the representation of labor. Biden was very good with the unions, not all of them, but some of them. So Biden was an obvious choice even after Bernie lost to him, because Bernie also pulled Biden more for the unions, more for the people. His challenge actually did help. Donald Trump is now openly. Gerrymandering used to be something that happened because it had to happen quietly. It happened more slowly. He's now telling states to gerrymander, which means no longer. And so you're saying you don't like that you can't get the person you want. Gerrymandering is fundamentally, you're an elected official, you go choose your voters. Whereas in a democracy, voters should choose their elected official. So when you say you don't think it would be better, you are definitely wrong. One, most Democrats have some kind of anti-gerrymandering position that they wanted to put into place, including Kamala Harris, which would make a big difference. Two, the actual undermining that Donald Trump is doing, the thing that he is doing that is making it worse, wouldn't have happened. He is doing actual actions that are taking it away so that in the future, even if Republicans lose the popular vote dramatically, you will still see disproportionate representation of Republicans in Congress and in the Senate, as well as the presidency. So it is getting much worse because of Donald Trump.
Now I'll argue this and kind of come back to what you just said. My home state is Illinois. There isn't a state more gerrymandered than Illinois. J.B. Pritzker ran on not redistricting, and he literally just redistricted the guy. And so when you tell me that that's what Democrats don't want to do, That's exactly what they do. They just did it in my home state.
Do you feel like California just did it? Do you feel like California did it because they wanted to, or because Donald Trump started openly gerrymandering and there was a recognition that until the Democrats get power back, we can't fight in any other way? So we will gerrymander, we will counter gerrymander. And then once Democrats have it back, we've now proven that this system is terrible and we will get rid of it. Because the Republicans don't want to end it. They want to continue to expand it. Democrats want to end it.
California and Illinois had 3 different governors that were Democrats that gerrymandered.
But did you just hear my question? Did they gerrymander in response to gerrymandering?
Didn't California also put it to a vote?
Yes,
California voted on it.
California voted and put an expiration date on it.
Okay, Illinois did not. Illinois just laid it out. And they already have a super majority in Illinois. There's nothing. Yes. There's nothing that's going to change in Illinois. It's Democrat.
And right now, the president is. Right now, the president is openly gerrymandering, and the Democrats are. Honestly, you're describing the one way in which right now all these things are happening, and Chuck Schumer goes out and goes, I've written a very strong letter. We're real upset about this. And that's not action. You're actually describing one of the few times that it's good. Unfortunately, when you are a pacifist, if somebody comes at you at a knife, sometimes you have to kill that guy to be able to maintain pacifism. And if you are a person who's anti-gerrymandering and people are openly gerrymandering, and they are purposely fucking you. This doesn't mean that Democrats never gerrymandered before, but again, it used to be quietly, it used to be subtly. It didn't require the Supreme Court to come in and say, hey, stop doing racist gerrymandering like it did with the Republicans. That stuff has happened before, never on this scale, never this openly. And right now, it is necessary to gerrymander as a self-defense measure, literally. And then once they get in, we should hold them to their promise or eat them if we must, to un-gerrymander the fuck out of the country.
Yeah, I agree. That you make a great point. And I've honestly not looked at it like that. And these are great conversations to be had, when you can look at a stance like you just rolled out to me and it makes sense. I dig it. And I just never thought about it that way. I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it like, well, you're kind of just fucking doing the same stuff that I don't like that the other side does, and you're smiling and stroking me. You're not even giving me the stroke. You're just hitting me.
If it makes you feel, if it lays out the metaphor better for you, Michael, I'll tell you this: I am against private civilians owning specifically assault rifles capable of high capacity killing. In other words, like, I know that there are definitions of assault rifles. If it can kill 50 humans in under 2 minutes, that's too much power, or whatever definition we would come in. I own one such weapon. So as long as that is the case, I'm going to do it too. But I'm also going to work toward a world where that isn't the case.
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy not holding it. And the other thing that I would go to, and then I won't hog up your time because I know you guys are getting ready to get out of here, is I think when you look at, I really did some thinking on this, and this is just my opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong, but in your opinion, I looked at the why, like why did this happen? How did this guy win again? Like he was going to win again, right? Like how did this happen? I didn't see it. Everybody said that he's not going to win. He's not going to win. Harris is going to win, and then. I did a dive, and I guess soul searching is a bad term because I didn't even freaking vote. But when I looked at it, I thought, I think the left has 2 factions. You have the Democrat elitists that are corporately driven and corporate owned, and then you have the working class or the progressives,
the actual left
that are for the working class, the actual left, and you have that infight going on in between, and what happens is you've got one side that is pandering to the other, and you got the one that are trying to fight for the people, and the right just kind of sitting back picking up the fallout, and people that are in the middle, the
rich are the guys
these
benefiting
independents
the most.
that are in the middle, like I argue, I don't know I'm sure that
The middle's
racism
worse.
played. Like, I'm not dumb. I'm sure racism played a part. I don't think
Yes.
it played a part to the effect that it pushed that guy winning more than it was the left being so dysfunctional. And I just wish the progressives would just flat out cut away and say, we're not even going to use your moniker. We are going to be progressives or whatever the hell we're going to call our party, and we are going to be the official third party with power. I think there's enough numbers at this point to break away and say,
there isn't.
F you, Democrat.
Yeah, there
You
isn't.
don't
Michael.
Even if there were enough numbers, I don't think there's enough money.
Yeah, there definitely isn't. We don't have time to really get into the like nitty gritty of that, Michael. What I'll tell you is this: keep watching us, keep watching this, because as you said, as far as people on the left, who did you see who had the best prediction map for the election? As in, they were the closest to calling the election correct.
Probably. TYT, Chank and those guys, when I was flipping through, was
okay.
Probably
well, I can tell you, I beat them too. Literally, no one at TYT.
Media,
I was wrong by two states, and I called Donald Trump's victory before Kamala Harris was even the nominee. So literally a year prior. Wow. So keep watching.
What's your
it
thoughts on
isn't
the
unforeseen. It isn't unpredictable. And there are people who aren't going to just try and pander you. I suggest you keep watching, and we'll...
First time watcher, and thanks for taking my call, guys, and appreciate what you do.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Well, I guess we can try and have a 4-minute debate, but I might be telling this person to call back Tuesday.
You just had them call back today.
Did I? Did they call back before? Sam in Georgia, you're on the line. You might have to call back on a day we don't have more hefty debate callers, but sorry if you already are being juggled again. In fairness, it says you've been on like 8 times before. Sam,
last week you told them to call back in to debate you on spirituality.
Was it on our show?
It was when me and Ari were on. I said I don't care about debating spirituality. You said no, tell them to call when I'm on.
That's right, because you're not into it. Okay, Sam, I'll give you the brief version of it, and then you can call back. Have we published my talk yet on it? No. Sam, if I'm putting it clear, you think that it's fine to be spiritual. Your only opposition is religion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did my research. Okay.
So, Sam, what type of spirituality do you believe is harmless?
Me just continue to sing songs praising Yahweh.
Okay. Does cancer exist?
Yes.
Is it a negative thing that cancer exists?
For the most part.
Is it a harmful thing that cancer exists?
I mean, for the most part, yeah.
Great. So harm doesn't actually establish if something is true or not. We can't actually say that where this is true or this is okay because it's harmful, right? My faith talk is public. Good. We can't say it because it's harmful that means that we accept it or not. We accept cancer exists despite the fact that it's harmful. Sam, if I tell you that I have faith that all black people should die, I have faith of it. How can you tell me I'm wrong if you have faith in a different proposition?
We would argue.
What'd you say?
I said we would argue.
No. But you have faith, right? You have faith in your spirituality, correct?
Yes.
So you, at the end of the day, if you have faith, at the end of the day, you have to say, I don't know it's true. I have faith. You have nothing to argue. So on the foundation upon which you say it is acceptable to believe in something, I am going to accept that foundation. And the only argument you can make is, but that foundation is harmful. But you just established that harm has nothing to do with whether you accept a proposition or not. Cancer is harmful. We accept the proposition that cancer exists because we don't evaluate harm as whether or not it exists. So if you basically accept that that it's okay for you to take things on faith, You cannot reject anybody else's claim for taking it on the basis of faith if harm is that which you base that on. And this is why harmful beliefs persist. If more people who had harmless beliefs just dropped those two and made faith more unpopular, you would see faith in other people's numbers decline. Now, Sam, that's how it outwardly causes issue, because you don't have a foundation upon which to stand against people who have harmful faiths. Internally, faith sets you up. And this is where we would have to extend it further. You are more gullible, Sam, because you accept faith in your life for some things. And while you sit there and you go, I sing praises to Yahweh, I don't let it affect other things, there are literally marketing algorithms that are looking for you. Specifically, based on the things you're interacting with, there are marketing algorithms that are looking for you because they know if you've bought into that bullshit based on faith, they can probably sell you, whether it's a rock, whether it's a special set of scriptures, whether it's music. So when it comes to the harm, you can make the capitalist harm, that you are being exploited, that your belief in something that isn't true or only taken on faith, you are being marketed to, and you are giving up your resources. Money are resources in a capitalist system. They are your security. You're giving up security in exchange for that which they're targeting you for. So your own personal life, that faith, again, we can flesh this out more when we have more time, leads to gullibility. You are more gullible to those people, and you are targeted for their marketing as well as the marketing of certain communities. And once you get into a community, because of those community appraisals, it isn't a slippery slope fallacy. It's actually how we know community think works. The ability to radicalize a person once they're in a community goes up. And so if you are in a faith-based community that you think is harmless, your potential for radicalization also increases. So there are your three reasons: gullibility, odds of radicalizing, and the fundamental point that you cannot stop a person from having a harmful belief that is faith-based, because foundationally, harm does not establish what truth is, and you accept faith for your life. Those are the three reasons why even progressive religion and spirituality are not acceptable.
Okay, I understood with, and I would think more on two out of three. For one of them, I have to replay, and I guess I'll think more about that. The one about me not having a reason to tell other people their faith is bad, and I did my research on the Nordic model, like you told me to. Cool. I guess I'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I assume, Jovan, you told him to do research on the Nordic model.
No, he said you did.
I don't think I've ever invoked the Nordic model in my life. I said that?
He said you said it.
Are we talking about Nordic faiths?
Were you calling him a liar?
Nordic model is about... If somebody just says the Nordic model, they're talking about hookers.
I always assume they're talking about trans healthcare. Could be talking about hookers. Did you talk to him when you were on with like Adeline?
I don't know.
When I hear Nordic model, I think the Dutch protocol.
Right. The Dutch protocol is trans. Nordic model is hookers.
Okay, then he wants to talk to you about...
Adeline. Okay, people are saying Adeline told...
Well, okay, yeah. They want to talk about hookers.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next time. Especially, we'll have Adeline back. All right, everybody, please go now and watch the Sunday Show After Dark. Should be a great show, even though I don't even know who's on, but I know that everybody who's on the line is a great host, so I suspect it's going to be a great show. Just kidding. It is definitely a great show because it's Forrest Valkai and Austin Archer. I'm almost tempted to watch that, except for Forrest is on it. But Austin, I'm just teasing. Him and I have been shit talking to each other for the last 24 hours in our text messages. Go watch that. That's the show. And this was this show. And we're going to go play Pocopia and debate less.